If we're live, we're live. If we're not, we're not. But hopefully any second now. Yeah, it should be up running. Yeah, that's there. Which means this is about to start as well. Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Team news about to come in any second now. Lots going on. Other teams playing as well, which makes it very interesting, doesn't it? But I wasn't expecting Sunderland to get anything against Liverpool. I'm certainly not expecting City to blow it at home to Burnley, although they are down to 10 men. But the reality is it's all about Manchester United at the moment. We're waiting for the team news to come in. It will be here. In fact, I think I've got it for you now. Starting 11 then. De Gea in goal, Valencia, Jones, Rojo, Darmian. We predicted that. Carrick, Herrera and Pogba in the midfield. We're happy with that. Lingard, Mkhitaryan, Ibrahimovic. I expected Lingard to play. I know people will say Martial's dropped because he's on the bench, but personally I would probably say what I said before about all these other City fans moaning about Aguero not playing. It's not really about dropping players. It's about 2 games in 48 hours and freshening up the squad. And I think Lingard's legs were always going to be utilised in this game, which I agree with. And Martial or Mkhitaryan, who would you drop out? One of them hopefully would get on in the second half. The bench, for those who need to know it, is Romero, Smalling, Fellaini, Ashley Young, Juan Mata, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. So I'm very happy with that team. We knew Darmian was going to be playing because and City are winning as well, which is typical. I just think, even with 10 men, Burnley can't do it, which is just typical, isn't it, of the Premier League, But yes, very, very happy with that lineup. I think it's more or less what we would expect. I'd like to see Tony Martial playing. I really would. But Lingard gives us some freshness and we are away from home. We need to work hard. But Powell19 says, unless he's dead on the floor, he should be starting this game. Let's see if we can get Ross on and see what he says. But yeah, that team again, De Gea, Valencia, Jones and Rojo, centre-backs, we accepted them. Bay can't play anyway. Blind not part of the squad, so Darmian was always going to play. Luke Shaw. I mean, Replenish Rewire is saying he's concerned about Darmian. I just hope he has a good game today. That Carrick being back, because we were told he was ill on Saturday, so Carrick being back is a massive bonus for us. Let's not forget that. Herrera and Pogba, you wouldn't want either of those two not playing. Mkhitaryan's in the team, and I'm just watching the Blackburn-Newcastle game as well. I'm not going to do a watch-along for that. But Zlatan obviously up front and Lingard coming in with a bit of energy. I'm not unhappy with that team. Salim Hussein wants Burnley to score. I think we all do, but it's difficult when you're the away team. City have been down for 10 men for quite a while. It's 0-0 there, and Burnley should show some intent, but I bet they've not even changed their game plan of sitting back. So even if you're down to 10 men, if you've managed football, tactically played football, even FIFA football, if you go down to 10 men and you are away from home against a team that you think is going to thrash you and your whole tactics are set up about getting 11 men behind the ball, when they go down to 10 men, you should change your tactics and show a little bit more than what Burnley have. Burnley have continued to sit back, which means for City it makes no difference to the fact they've got 10 men. I felt City were going to win that game, and it really does look like they will. Ross, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, Mark?
Very good, mate. Just looking at the team news there. I don't know whether you've seen it or you want me to go through it for you.
I've got it in front of me, mate. I'm chuffed to bits with that. I don't know what your opinion is, but I'm absolutely chuffed.
Yeah, I was just saying, I mean, I'll let you go through your thoughts, but I just said, you know, a lot of people moaning, City are 1-0 up even though it's Burnley with 10 men, but a lot of City fans moaning that Aguero wasn't starting. And I just think people need to realise it's 2 games in 48 hours. Pep would have planned not to play Aguero today, just like Mourinho would have planned to play Lingard today for that freshness, legs, a difficult away game. First 11, if we were playing a week later, I'd be gutted why Martial's not playing. But I'm not bothered about it because I just think it's totally to do with 48 hours. I don't know if that's your interpretation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he hasn't played a huge amount of football recently, and let's not forget Mkhitaryan. Actually, he actually has, and he's been training quite well. So I didn't think we'd see Mkhitaryan starting today personally. So I'm really happy to see that. And do you know what? Lingard's movement is going to be a problem. Martial's obviously a better player, but going into this game, like you say, on the back of 48 hours, I'd have definitely have made that decision because it's not. I know Martial's playing well, but we don't want to just sort of put all our eggs into one basket. And he is on the bench. If Lingard's not playing well, and we need to switch it up, he will come on. So apart from that, we all knew Darmian was going to play because of the fact that Blin was, didn't want in the squad, but I'm happy to see Rojo and Jones back together because I thought Smalling was not very good, to be honest, a couple of days ago, and it's that midfield again, which we all love to see. Carrick, we don't lose when he's not playing. We don't lose when he's not playing. So yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed with that team.
I'm just going through the subs. I think I've got them right. I've got Rashford, Young, Martial, Mata, Fellaini, Smalling, and Romero. So Rooney obviously isn't fit again. And obviously Blind, as you said, wasn't part of it. Nice to see Carrick back. City have gone 2 up. You know what? I find that quite annoying, to be honest, Ross. I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm getting a bit frustrated, to be honest, because we've been on a really good run, and the minute we've hit a good run, it's like everybody has sent the message out, haven't they? You know, Spurs have found a backbone. Everybody is just getting results. I'm sure the Liverpool second goal against Sunderland is incoming at any point, and it would have been fantastic today if, I wasn't expecting City to drop points at home to Burnley at all, but Burnley just show you what Burnley are. They had their one good game of the season against us. Their keeper did play well. We should have beat them. Everyone always comes out with that line, oh, Burnley turn up against us. They didn't turn up against us. We just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. It could have been 6-0 any day of the week. But what annoys me about Burnley is City go down to 10 men and Burnley don't change their tactics. They still sit back. So for City, they've been let off the hook because you've played football as well, Ross. If you're down to 10 men, the last thing you want the opposition to do is come at you and use the spare man. If they sit back, it doesn't matter whether you've got 10 or 9 men because they're not doing anything with the spare man. So, Awesomeness 242262 just said that Sunderland should be winning 2-1. So Liverpool are going to win. But the good thing about anybody dropping points today would have been, and I expect Liverpool to win, is this is a difficult game for us, West Ham. I'm excited about this one more than Borough because Borough, I think we both went into it. We've got to win this, and even a point, which it looked like it might be for a long time, we'd have been gutted. This one, I think we need to win it, but I wouldn't say I'm going into it saying, we're definitely going to win. It's a tough game, so we could do with one or two of them teams above us dropping points this week because if we got a draw away from home, it might not be a bad draw on reflection, but we could lose ground.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I totally underestimated West Brom due to the fact that we had a dodgy ref, to be honest. So I'm hoping we get a better performance from today's ref. But it's a massively tough game, and a point away at West Ham is a good result for United. But then, based on where we are in the league, 6th position, if we were in 2nd or 3rd, I'd say a point we'll take it. But where we are at the minute, and like you say, the spike in performances from all the other clubs, we need 3 points today. And let's not forget, West Ham's ground is an absolute farce. I mean, it's going to be like a home game for United because there's no atmosphere in that ground. West Ham are not on top of it, so we've almost got more chance of beating them away than we have at home. So we've got to go at them and make it our home ground because it certainly isn't West Ham's home ground.
No, I think you were staying there near there the other night. I saw your picture on Twitter. Actually, it is the neutral ground, as I've called it a few weeks ago, but you can guarantee United roll into town and it's a very, very different story. I don't think we'll see... plus they lost to Leicester at the weekend. I don't know where they are in the league, to be honest. I don't really care, but it doesn't really matter where you are in the league because they will turn up and they will give it a good go because United have rolled into town. We know the dangers with West Ham. It's quite a quick... You always get one of these games every season where it's quite a quick turnaround in relation to the games, and we played West Ham I think end of November, didn't we? And another game where we dropped 2 points. So West Ham, we know a lot about them, like I say. What would your sort of feeling about this game be and where it's going to be won and lost, and are you confident we can get a result?
100%. I think, like a lot of teams that play us, their biggest threat is going to be a set piece, and especially with Payet in and around that box. Rojo, it tends to give away a lot of fouls in and around the box, and we've got lucky with him because we do have the best goalkeeper in the world in goal. But Payet will beat any goalkeeper in the world if he gets his free kicks right, and I've seen so many of them go in this year, and we just need to be so disciplined in not giving away petty fouls. And that's if they were playing Andy Carroll, which he's on the bench, I would have said he's their biggest threat because against quite a small Rojo, I think that would have been a major worry. But with Carroll on the bench, I just think that their biggest threat is Payet. And let's not forget Antonio's a great header off the ball as well, and he seems to pop up with a goal. But again, if United play to their abilities and the capacity that we can, we should be winning this hands down, regardless of how West Ham play. So a lot of this will depend on how United play, and let's hope that Lingard has a great game, because he would have seen Martial's performance 2 days ago, and that would have put a worry in his mind, because he's not going to be outplacing an informed Martial. So he's got a point to prove, because let's not forget Lingard's last game, he did play phenomenal, and he set that Ibrahimovic assist up. So it's swings and roundabouts.
He was fantastic at the first half against West Brom. I mean, not so much in the second half. He faded, but that's because he did so much running. So, I mean, and this is what we want. We've said this a number of times over the last couple of months, and a lot of people on the live comments have said it as well. It's not really about your first 11 at this stage of the season, and certainly not when you've got 2 games in 48 hours. We should be using the squad. It's great that Lingard can come in, and like Ross says, he needs to step up to the plate. The team news, if you look just below the live comments box, you'll see our news ticker there. The team is just whizzing through now for you, but I will read it out. It's De Gea in goal, it's Valencia and Darmian as full-backs, it's Rojo and Jones back as centre-backs, it's Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, for me the best midfield in the world, in the country, and so we say world as well. Mkhitaryan probably on the right, Lingard maybe on the left, maybe they'll switch around, we'll see it kick off, and Zlatan up front. Martial's on the bench with Rashford, Fellaini's on the bench of course, Smalling's on the bench, Mata's on the bench, Ashley Young's on the bench, and Sergio Romero's on the bench. So let's have a think about that. I mean, chuck us your questions in from the live comments. I know somebody whizzed by said, what do you think about Martial being dropped? I think we discussed that, and I think we're quite relaxed, both very happy with the team. Second game in 48 hours, you've got to use your squad sensibly, and I think the away game was always the more difficult game. And let's not forget, Ross, when we compare those two teams, yes, Herrera, Pogba, Zlatan are playing 2 games in 2 days, and Valencia as well. De Gea doesn't really matter as a goalkeeper. But freshness, I don't know how much... I'm going to have a look at that while you're talking, but Carrick didn't play, so that's fresh. Lingard didn't play, that's fresh. Our 2 centre-backs didn't play, that's fresh. Our left-back didn't play. So we've got more or less a half a side fresh. And we're only really talking about Martial, but it's half the team that's different.
100%. And let's not forget the players that are playing for the second game in 48 hours. My personal opinion are they're some of the fittest players in the Premier League. And Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Valencia are as fit as a fiddle. So I have no doubts that they will be playing at 100% of their capacity. And it's good, we rested Carrick against him. I know he was ill, but it was good to rest him for that game. And, and we will have 100% fit Michael Carrick for this game. And he makes such a difference to this team. So like I say, I'm calm, I'm relaxed. I'm actually pleased as well. My personal opinion was Smalling had a bit of a shocker against West Brom. I think, I'm not going to pin the goal solely on him, but I think he didn't know where he was at the time. And I was a bit shocked at how he handled that situation. And I honestly believe that Rojo wouldn't have got caught out like that, which is a massive testament to Rojo. I mean, he's turned 6 months ago. I would have told you that I wanted Rojo out of this club because, I didn't like him as a defender. I thought he was all over the place, but he's turned my opinion around. And I think he's turned a lot of United fans' opinion around. Again, do I think he's quality going forward, winning Champions Leagues? Not a chance, but he's more than enough earned his place in this squad. And in the current defenders and centre-backs that we've got, he's earned his place in this first team.
I'll be amazed if, like you say, Rojo is part of the team next year when we are in the Champions League. But, as you say, for the moment, would you want Rojo and Jones or would you want Smalling? I can't believe I'm saying it either because I've been exactly the same as you. But, if I'm critical about somebody, I'm not going to hide behind a rock and say that I wasn't. And then when they're doing well, I'm more than happy to, not say that I was wrong. I don't think anyone was wrong to criticise Rojo or Jones. I mean, that's bloody... I can't stand with bandwagon fans like that. Jones deserved criticism because he was always injured, and Rojo made some shocking defending last year. But what's happened is they've got a manager who knows how to defend, and that's why very quickly I still think Lindelof will be done this week, and I trust Jose because I think when it comes to defenders, he knows exactly what he's on about. But the West Ham team, I can't get 2 things up to see what their team was. Maybe the live comments.
Got it here with you.
I don't know what their team on Saturday was, sorry. But,
sorry, mate, yeah.
So to see how many changes they've made. But it's Randolph in goal, Obiang, Reed, Ogbana, Cresswell, Coyote, Nordvit, Antonio, Feguli, Payet and Lanzini. So it's, I don't know how many changes they've made, but it's certainly not a weakened team by them, and maybe they would have prioritised this ahead of Leicester away. I don't know how they prioritise things now, but... It's an interesting one. Don't worry about Liverpool. They will get a late winner. It's 2-1 to Liverpool, apparently. In fact, a lot of people are saying that. So yeah, Liverpool score. We knew that was going to happen. I mean, I'm not even disappointed by it. But my concern about it is that I just think I don't want us to drop any points today. Burnley have scored though, so you never know. If somebody dropped points today, it'd be absolutely fantastic. I think this game week's a difficult game week for us because Chelsea have got Spurs, I think, on Wednesday night. We could do with Chelsea beating them really, but we've got to win ourselves. I mean, Ross said it quite rightly. We are winning games and we're doing well at that, but we've got to keep winning it because unfortunately we dropped a lot of points at home we shouldn't have dropped, i.e. Burnley, and that means that a draw against West Ham that might be a good result when you're second or third, it's not good enough. Pingulan, we very quickly will touch on West Ham. We've sort of touched on their danger from their set pieces, but Pingulan's just mentioned Michael Antonio there. I know a little bit about him because I am from Nottingham. I'm not a Forest fan, but I do have friends who are Forest fans, and I remember when they signed him from Sheffield Wednesday, and then he went to Forest. I don't really know much about what he did at Forest, but he went from Forest to West Ham, and when I was home last Christmas, people weren't very happy about it. I think he'd gone in the summer because he's a very good player, and I know he gets in the England squad. I don't know whether he deserves that or not because I don't watch England, Ross, but he's a good player. He's a bit like Antonio Valencia in some ways because he's got such an engine up and down. I suppose a good question would be who's the better player, Valencia or Antonio? I'm sure West Ham fans would say Antonio, but he for me is he's the one to watch because he just even though we're talking about him now, he consistently, I have him in my fantasy football team. He gets loads of assists, he scores every now and again, but he's always like, if you watch any Sky Sports show or anything like that, he's never really the player they talk about. They always talk about Payet, who can be good but can be quiet.
Yeah, my opinion of Antonio is, which is why, in my opinion, he will never be better than Valencia, is he's great going forward, but he's not good enough going forward to cut it on the left wing for me. I don't know where they're playing him today, whether they are playing him in the wing-back position, but they've played him at wing-back, and he's so vulnerable as a wing-back. I mean, he's rarely in position. He's always playing people onside, which is a very bad point to his game, and he's the sole reason why West Ham have dropped quite a lot of points this season. But then he goes up the other end and he scores a goal to kind of make up for his mistake. So he's one of them where you have to kind of weigh it up as a manager. Are his goals and his contribution good enough for him to be in that team? And at the minute it's probably a yes, but I would never have him in the United team. So I just don't think defensively he's good enough. And as a left winger, he's definitely not good enough. So West Ham's probably, I don't want to be too derogatory to West Ham's. I haven't got a problem with them, but I think that's kind of the limit of his ability. And I don't think he'll ever go from a West Ham type of team. I don't think any of the top 6 clubs would ever be interested in him. So, and for me, and I'm going to sound very biased, but I think Mark, you'll probably agree, and all the United fans would agree, Valencia's probably the best right back in the Premier League at the minute. He's absolutely phenomenal. I know he plays as a right wing back and he gets forward most of the time, but defensively he's been pretty astute this season. So I've been absolutely chuffed with Valencia, and I don't think you can put Antonio and Valencia in the same bracket at all.
No, I'd agree with you, and I think you hit the nail on the head there, is that Valencia defensively has always been something that I would suspect, but I think, again, Mourinho deserves massive praise because I think a lot of the mistakes Valencia made positionally last year, and I was always critical of, he snapped out of because he's got the best manager in the world when it comes to sorting out a back four. What would your score prediction be today, Ross? I don't know whether you've got any bets lined up as well.
Got loads of bets on today, mate. I'm not going. The bet that I put on, one of them is you.
I've lost you. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, mate.
Yeah. Sorry, you broke up a little bit then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I put a few bets on, but the one bet I have put on today is that United won't concede a goal and win. The score, I'd hope. I've been saying 3-0 all season, thinking it's going to happen, and it hasn't. But I'm just going to stick with it through tradition and think if we can get a goal in the first half and keep it at 1-0 at half time, I think if West Ham come at us, they'll be so vulnerable. So I'm going with 3-0 United, but my sort of bet is United not to concede a goal today.
Yeah, that's a brave one away from home. I mean, I quite fancy both teams to score, to be honest, but I would go Zlatan to score. It's slightly better odds than it was at the weekend, actually, probably because he didn't score. You can get it at 1.70, so you've got a tenner on that, you get £7 back. So I'm going to go Zlatan to score at any time as my bet of the day. We were up to £50 off a tenner against Borough at the weekend, but I got greedy. I should have just gone United to win the game at 1.25. I went for nearly double at United to win it by 2 goals, and we only won by 1 goal, so it's back to the drawing board with the tenner again. But I will learn along the way not to be greedy. There you go. But it's 2-1 in the City-Burnley game. It's 2-1 in the Sunderland-Liverpool game. We'd love a late goal in one of those. Either will do. I don't really care. But what I would say, back to United and this game, yes is saying I'd say 2-0. Sunderland apparently have scored to make it 2-2.
I'd love that.
I don't agree with that. I don't think it's happened. It's just one comment.
No.
So we won't be going to that. It's not official. It's still 2-1 to Liverpool. But my score prediction today, I'm going to go 2-1 with United. I think I'm very excited about this game. I think it's going to be a cracking watch-along, because I can't say to you that United are going to win this. Like I said, Sunderland and Borough will be 6 points. You just don't know away from home. I'm hoping for a sort of West Brom sort of game, but I'm going to go 2-1. I think if you were going both teams to score, that's not a bad bet. And I think West Ham will produce something that we've not seen West Ham produce all season, because that's the way it is. But yeah, we need to win it. We know we need to win it. We're capable of winning it. And I think maybe in the past we were like, under Van Gaal, we'd be quite hopeful we're going to win a game. Let's not forget, we've got that midfield of Carrick, Herrera and Pogba. I think it's the best midfield in England, and I think most teams would be envious of it. And I tell you what, Ross, to get to a point now where I'm starting to feel as if we underpaid for Pogba. I mean, £90 million. He's 23. He's 23, and I watched him in that game against Borough, and he's still not, I'd say he's only about 80% of his full ability. But the amount of times he gets the ball and just runs past people in the midfield, I haven't seen midfielders do that like that in this country since the days of Gascoigne. And I think he just doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's nowhere near the finished article yet. But you name me a midfielder in the last 10 years that when they get the ball, they take people on. I mean, Yaya Toure used to do it a little bit, but it was more power than, Pogba's got skills as well. It's such a rarity. And whether it's on the wing like Mkhitaryan can do it, or Tony Martial on the left, footballers who run at players, they're not at a premium, and we've got quite a few. And if you commit a player and you get past them, that's when problems happen in football, because as I was talking about with 10 men there, you can use your extra man. But if you run at a player and you go past them, that messes up a team tactically straight away, because they've all got their men, and one of them's got to go and deal with the man who's gone past the man. And that's something that Pogba really gives us from the midfield.
100%. And I think that is the key to unlocking the midfield, which is what we didn't do last season. You can try and pick that pass all. If they're man marking your team, you need someone to beat a player to break up the man mark. Like you say, someone will have to come off a player, and all of a sudden, a 10-yard run from Pogba can free up all sorts of passes for him. And I watching him this season, all United stand fans, it's been absolutely amazing to watch, and a joy to watch as well, because I just think everything he does, he hasn't got a single weakness. And even the small things like holding up the ball, I don't think I've seen a better player in the world at holding up the ball. I mean, try tackle Pogba, for crying out loud. It's absolutely impossible. So, yeah, I agree with that. I don't know if you saw Paul Merson's thing today about buying Martial for £20 million. It's just another reason why we shouldn't be listening to pundits, because Paul Merson seems to think that Martial's on the market for £20 million. I mean, he basically got laughed off of Sky Sports News. I mean, it was absolutely horrendous. And it just goes to show you how deluded some of these pundits are, to be honest. And it's also worth noting that Burnley's got Man City was because of another Navas howler, which pet manager in the world, backing his goalkeeper blindly again, and he's costing him goals. So it's it just goes to show you that these people do not know best at all.
No, they do not. I'm just gonna. Apparently, we're getting problems with lag again. We always seem to get this. You're in the hands of the gods with the internet, I'm afraid. Just refresh. I think that will work. There's lots of stuff going on. It's still 2-1 to City. It's still 2-1 to Liverpool. 1 goal in that to help us out would be brilliant. I nearly swore. But I've just got to go and get my power adapter, because that might help with the lag, Ross. But there was something that I did sort of ask. 2017's here. It's our first game of 2017, obviously. I've been quite insistent that I think we will finish in the top 4 and we'll win a trophy this year. We're into the transfer window now. I'll just give you a couple of minutes while I get this power thing. Do you think we're going to make any signings? And also, who do you think is likely to leave in this month as well?
I think that we'll definitely sign a centre-back, and I don't know. I think Lindelof will happen for United. I know it's all gone a bit quiet, but when these transfers go quiet, I think that's because the deal's happened and that they're just waiting for the moment to kind of release it and transfer the player over. The out, you know, there's a lot of Memphis Depay fans on the United stand, but his behaviour over the last week has kind of really pissed me off, to be honest. The whole him out at New Year's Eve, popping bottles of champagne, it just didn't really sit right with me, that, and I kind of just want that out of the club as soon as possible. Schneidlin, I think he's handled himself a bit differently. He's gone to Mourinho. He's asked if he can leave, and he hasn't. There's been no agent talking or social media, and he will go. But I think he's going with dignity. I think Memphis is kind of starting to leave a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, to be honest. And both of them will go, and we'll get a good amount of money, and we'll probably get. A lot of Arsenal fans like to talk about net spend, so we'll probably get Lindelof and net spend nothing, which will be a great bit of business, to be honest. And apart from that, I don't really see us signing any attacking threat. I think if we could get Griezmann in January, we would, but it's definitely not going to happen. That's one for the summer, and it will 100% happen. But just saying, Mark, I think Memphis and Schneidlin will go. I definitely want Memphis to go because I'm just sick of his behaviour now. And I think we will sign Lindelof.
Yeah, well, the British press tried to ruin it last week by saying that Lindelof isn't coming to United. We'd obviously said a few days before that it was a done deal. I've not heard anything different, so we'll stand by that until it doesn't happen. I think it will happen next week. And I think there's 3 players. All 3 could go. I think 2 will definitely go, from probably Memphis and Schneiderlin, I think, are just guaranteed to go. And I've got a funny feeling Schweinsteiger might go as well. I love Fellaini to go. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm laughing at everybody who's trying to say Sunderland have scored and all this lot, because it just hasn't. It isn't happening. Although, to be honest, there must be a penalty to Sunderland because there are so many comments there. But even if Sunderland score, which I doubt they will.
Yeah, it is a penalty. It is a penalty.
Even if Sunderland score, I'm not going to get excited.
It's 2-all. It's 2-all.
It's 2-all. It's 2-all. There's still, 8 minutes left? This is what made me laugh at Ross. We'll talk about United for a bit, because games are never over until the last minute, and we saw against Everton, Liverpool get a late goal. So, but yeah, what makes me laugh about football, and it's what makes football so good, is that Middlesbrough game. They went 1-0 up. They did what they've been doing all game. They sat back all game. We get a goal, and they still sit back because they're going to be happy with a point. We're absolutely bombarding them. We get the winner. And then the last 5 minutes, it just changes, doesn't it? Because Borough wants a goal, so we sit back, and that's football for you. It's so end-to-end and psychological. A fantastic game, but I'm just so glad that we got that Borough result. And I want to talk about that just one very quickly as well. I mean, that we've spoken a little bit about this run of results for United. I think in the league it's either 6 or 7 if we win today. It's the amount of wins we're doing. We had a problem holding on to 1-0 leads. We did it against Spurs. We had a problem when people came back and scored against us and not winning it. We did it against Palace. We had a problem away from home not getting that 2-goal cushion. We did it against West Brom. Against Borough, we were last 10 minutes 1-0 down. We win it like United used to do. The great thing I think about United, a lot of people moan about the goal difference, is goal difference, it could be a problem, but actually it's a bit greedy because we've not been having good results, and I think we need to really appreciate that we have been grinding out the 3 points we need to get week in, week out, and it's the way we've been doing it. That every result's been different, and every result, as somebody who's played the game, I'm sure as well, it's a confidence to the squad. It builds the team morale. If you beat teams 3 or 4-0 like City had been, well, they're now going to Liverpool and losing 1-0. You don't learn anything from everything going right. I think you learn more in football from really having to work hard for results.
100%. That Middlesbrough result for me was, I said it in the group chat, it was one of my favourite performances from United this season, but just because of the mentality and the way we went at them to get that result, I thought it was brilliant, to be honest, to keep the run going, and that's all we need, to keep performances like that. Goal difference, like you say, it's irrelevant. You can have plus 20, plus 30 goal difference, compared to the team above you, but finish 1 point behind them, and it means absolutely nothing. So points first, and goal difference will come. And I hope teams like Liverpool drop points. I mean, City will win today. I think we'll finish above City and Tottenham with relative ease, to be honest. And I'm kind of looking a bit higher to the Liverpools to drop points because I think we can catch them. And if they hang on, it'll be a massive result today. And I'm also chuffed because actually transferred Defoe in my team today for Fantasy Premier, and he scored 2 goals. So absolutely chuffed with that. And apparently Mane gave the penalty away, which is brilliant. So Liverpool fans can suck that one up.
He's off to the African nations, isn't he? Which I don't understand why Bailey can't play for us, but there's still time in that game. I think the way Liverpool's season's been going, they probably will get another goal, but there isn't that long left in any game. Well, about 5 minutes. I fully expect Liverpool to win, but if they didn't, it would be really good for us. I think, to be honest, I want to say this with absolute confidence. I think out of the next 2 league games we've got, which is West Ham today, Liverpool at home in 2 weeks, because we've got the FA Cup game against Reading next weekend, I think this is the harder game. I think if we win this game, anything is possible, and I think we'll beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. I really do. I think United fans sometimes we're still being a little bit too negative about us. I think we've got a fantastic team, and I think we're very much building towards what our first 11 should be, and that's what I was going to ask you next, Ross. Actually, if you're asking me what my first 11 for United is at the moment, it's De Gea in goal, Valencia right back, Jones and Rojo, Daley Blind at left back because Luke Shaw's just not back fit yet, Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, Mkhitaryan on the right, Martial on the left, Zlatan up front, and I think that team causes anybody problems. The defence still needs work, but I think you've said that yourself. At the moment, the defence that's being picked is the right team for form and ability.
Yeah, mine's exactly the same team, Mark, to be honest. There'll be no changes to what you said. And, Martial is a fantastic player, and I think he will be one of the best wingers in the world if he stays as a winger. But like I said, game per game, I don't think we can pick the same starting 11 for every game. I think depending on what teams we're playing, it will need to change. And if we're playing a Liverpool or a Man City and Mourinho feels that Lingard might be a better option, I'm not blindly backing Mourinho, but I trust his tactical decision in doing that. And today, but 100% the team you've just named is.
The comment section, they keep chucking out fake results. All I would say is we won't chuck a fake result out for you. We've got our eye on it. Liverpool haven't scored yet, but I expect them to. And Burnley are losing 2-1 to 10 men, which is bloody ridiculous. And we'd love them to get a goal, but we'll have to just wait and see. Whatever happens, we're going to have to win our game, and we'll keep you updated with that as to what is happening. I want to talk about the transfers a little bit. Saul Niguez and Griezmann from Atletico Madrid, obviously linked to United. That'd be fantastic if we can do either of those deals, but there will be summer deals if they're going to happen anyway. Lindelof, I think, will happen, and then other than that, I don't know whether Ross mentioned any other names, but I've mentioned the right back at Feyenoord. I think he's 22 or 23. I call him Karsdorp. His name's Karsdorp. He's a decent right back. He's got a lot of the attributions we would want. There are players out there. There are midfielders that I quite like the look of. Kessie at Atlanta, and we've always quite liked Matuidi, Tillemans, people like that. The great thing about United is they might go and sign somebody we've never heard of, like Bailly, which would be great. But at the moment, I think Lindelof stands out. Maybe Semedo at Benfica as another right back. But I think more telling is that the people who will be going out the door. And I think we must say as well, we talk about signings, but Twansibi for me will be good enough. Fosu Mensah is good enough. Rashford is good enough. I thought what we didn't get to talk about, because obviously I only speak to you at half time, was the Middlesbrough game. I think it sort of, I understand why the press ignore it, because they don't want to have this sort of agenda with United, but I don't think it's really been discussed about with United fans as well. We were 1-0 down to Middlesbrough. He took a centre-back off and put Rashford on.
Yeah, you know what? I thought Mourinho got that game tactically spot on, and that was the first game in a long time that Rashford's come on and actually made a difference as well. I mean, he looked phenomenal to me, so I was pleased with that. And yeah, I just thought Mourinho literally went all guns blazing for that, and it was a tactical masterclass. The press, match of the day, everyone, they ignored that whole game. There was passes from Pogba that should have been on match of the day, but yet they were all, mesmerised by a James Milner pass that, did absolutely nothing. But that's match of the day. That's the media. But for United fans, and I was having this argument with, a few Liverpool fans the other day that seem to think that Mourinho's finished and nobody likes him. But they don't understand that everyone around United, the United stand, every fan channel, every fan backs Mourinho, and we're seeing changes, and we're seeing positive results and positive changes. But because the media won't report it, because the media have this bad taste in their mouth about Mourinho, every other club in the Premier League seems to think that he's done for, which is not the case. And yeah, spot on with that game, Mourinho.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I'm keeping an eye out on the other scores. It's into stoppage time for both City and Burnley, and Sunderland and Liverpool. I'm expecting a goal for Liverpool, which would just be typical, but we'll have to wait and see. David Moyes would partially redeem himself if he could manage to get a point there, because we do, it's not even just Liverpool really. I think United have been quite unlucky because we've had a good run of results, and we have been quite unlucky the fact that other teams have just suddenly seen us coming, and fair play to them, they have responded, and they're not dropping points, which we need them to do. But a win today, I don't think we need to start falling into this trap of expecting us to win it. It's not a foregone conclusion at all, and I think also not many clubs in the Premier League win 7, 8, 9 league games in a row, and I know we're not quite there yet with that yet, but we're not far off. And that we had to do that after that Everton game. Granted, we should have won the game, and it was totally down to Marouane Fellaini why we didn't. We've still responded and done something that even I didn't necessarily think we could do, which was win a number of games in a row. And it really was sparked off by that City result where they lost to Leicester, and it suddenly gave us a chance. There is a goal in the Premier League, but it's for Everton. It's 3-0. It's Romelu Lukaku for those who've got him in the Fantasy League. But I think we're sort of nervously hanging on here, Ross, hoping that there isn't a goal at the Stadium of Light and there is a goal at City. But there's nothing official yet. They're well into stoppage time in both games. We'll see what happens. But it would be a boost. Interesting though. Chelsea play Spurs. Who do you want to win that, or are you still thinking a draw because we might have a chance of catching Chelsea?
That's a tough one there. I think Chelsea, as much as I don't want to say it, I think they have almost won the Premier League already. They look in scintillating form. So yeah, I'd probably go with the Chelsea win, and a draw would be a good consolation to that, but definitely no result for Tottenham in that game for me would be a positive.
I mean, yeah, we are 13 points off Chelsea. As much as it'd be nice to have a title challenge, you've got to look, we've got to secure fourth place, and I think we need to get into the top four before the Europa League kicks in, because that will be when we're starting to play games. We're on a level playing field with Liverpool and Chelsea at the moment, because they obviously don't have any European football, but we need to be into that top four as soon as possible. So I would rather Chelsea. I mean, to be honest, if Liverpool draw today, I don't mind Chelsea and Spurs drawing, because Liverpool don't make any points up on Chelsea. You know what? Anything other than Liverpool winning the league. So a Chelsea Spurs draw, I suppose that would be the best result as long as Liverpool don't win today. But ideally, I'd probably want Spurs to lose, because I just want us to get into that top four. I don't know about you, Ross. I just get fed up if we've had this run and we're still getting all this stuff from rivals saying, yeah, but you're in 6th place. I want us to get there as soon as possible, really.
100%. It's mostly Arsenal fans, to be honest, because Arsenal fans are the absolute worst on Twitter, but they're just jealous because they don't get success, and United are on quite a scary run of form, and most people in that top 6 can see it, apart from Arsenal fans. I was even speaking to quite a humble Liverpool fan yesterday, saying that United's form is quite worrying, especially going into the derby game with us. If we get a win today, the momentum will be absolutely huge, and I think we're into the last couple of minutes, but I think Sunderland might hold on, which means their form's rocky going into that game. So, but yeah, it is frustrating still being 6th, but the gaps are closing, and I think they're all congesting together. It seems to be the teams in 2nd and 3rd drop points before the teams above us. So what will probably happen is we'll go from 6th to 2nd in a matter of 2 weeks, and then they can all be quiet, and then we can start gloating a bit.
Exactly, and you know what? Even if Liverpool do get the late goal, that I would, my heart would always say
it's full time.
It's full time. So it's full time at Liverpool. It must be full time at the other game as well, at City. Yeah, I've not had it confirmed in front of my screen yet, but I'll take Ross's word for it. So Liverpool now have got 45 points. Sorry, no, they haven't. They've got 44 points. They are 8 points ahead of us before our game today. So if we can win today, we close the gap on Liverpool to 5 points. So City have won as well. It's not saying full time on my screen yet for the Liverpool game. Is it definitely full time there?
Yeah, it's definitely full time. Yeah, Bleacher Report tweeted it out.
Good. Well, I'm happy with that. I mean, I was going to say there, ultimately it comes down to the fact that if we drew with West Ham today, that wouldn't be great. But the fact is, others have dropped points. City not dropping points would have been the nicer one because they're 6 points ahead of us now. But we can go level with Spurs. And I think every game week, it's all about if you win your game, as long as at least one of those above you drops points, then that's we had that bad Boxing Day where everybody won, but this weekend just gone, we beat Borough, City lost to Liverpool, so we made points on them. Today, if we beat West Ham, we make points on Liverpool. If Chelsea beat Spurs, we make points on Spurs. If Chelsea and Spurs draw, we make points on both of them. I don't know who Arsenal have got, but they seem to be getting results at the moment. But as long as we keep winning our games, I agree with what Ross says there. At some point, we will, I think it's just going to start to back up. And then we could go from 6th to 2nd in no time. But that's a good result. I really thought that Sunderland, especially, I expected City to beat Burnley, but I really did think Liverpool would go to Sunderland. And the great thing about Liverpool fans, their delusion is so great. They won't actually start thinking about us until about 30 seconds after they've lost that game, because they still really do think they're in a title race, which is hilarious. But yeah, I'm happy with that. It makes our game not that it needed to be, but it makes it that much more interesting now, because if we get a win tonight, that's a fantastic start to the year for us. And I'm confident we'll do it. I'm going 2-1. Ross is going 3-0. I'll let Ross get off and get prepared for the game. Are you going to join us again at half time, pal?
Yeah, I'll join you at half time, Mark, and we're fingers crossed for a Carrick goal as well. I've got a bet on that as well, so hopefully that happens.
Was that Carrick score a goal and then eat an ice cream?
That's it, yeah, eat an ice cream and get ill again, because it's never too cold for an ice cream.
All right, I'll see you at half time, pal, and hopefully we'll be recording on a good half. I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, Mark, thanks.
And you can follow Ross on Twitter at Hazza90. And obviously, United Stand, we're on Twitter as well, which is at United Stand MUFC. I'm on Twitter as well, at Mark Goldbridge. I haven't been tweeting much recently, but I am on there, so you can follow me. But let's go to the live comments. That's what the watch-along is all about, obviously. Man United have to win, says Skull13. 2-1, says Rahima B. Let the dreamers dream, says Storymaker. Somebody saying Pogba overrated. Can't believe Liverpool didn't beat Sunderland. Game is over, Mark, says Lynn Hall. It's 2-2. Fantastic. That's a real bonus for us. I'm only thinking about a win today. I'm not saying we are definitely going to win, because I think away from home against West Ham, they probably will be up for it. But we should go into it with confidence. And I tell you what, we should be smelling blood. We've been given an opportunity today. We could have had a double opportunity. It would have been ridiculous if City had not dropped points as well. They haven't, but we were only 3 points behind City this morning anyway. If we win our game, we're only 3 points behind City. So let's just do what we need to do, and that is to win today. All London clubs are bottlers, says Mahmood. Let's wait till full time of our game. 6 win in a row if we do it today, says Joel Merry, in the league, that is. Liverpool are bottlers, says FIFA 17 player. I think we've got to put a tweet out, haven't we? I mean, people would be disappointed if I didn't put something out on Twitter. Liverpool bottling the title in 2017. They'll be fighting for 4th, for 5th, for 6th. Let's go down to 6th in April. They'll bite. They absolutely hate the United Stand, Liverpool fans, and we get so much joy out of it. Right, so very happy with that team. If Red in the bed is watching, I've got a bit of a problem with the stream, and that's why I've got a problem. But the timer should be working today, which is good. And also, the team news, if you've not seen it, is going below the live comments. In fact, it's just about to come up for you there. De Gea in goal, Valencia right back, Jones and Rojo. No Blind, Darmian's in at left back, and we've got Carrick, Herrera and Pogba, which I believe is the best midfield in the league. We've got Mkhitaryan on the right, which is exciting. We've got Lingard in for fresh legs, and we've got Zlatan up front. And I think Mkhitaryan didn't actually have such a good game against Borough. No, he wasn't bad, but Martial sort of put him in the shade, as did a couple of others. But Mkhitaryan, this is the sort of game where we're looking at him, aren't we? So I'm glad that he's part of the team. Somebody's just asked, can I do a blog? For those who don't realise, we're massive on transfers on the United Stand every summer, every January, and we did a bit of a blog yesterday, but it's going to be a daily blog. I'm just trying to figure out what time we're going to do it. It's either going to, you'll find out tomorrow, but it's going to be a daily 5-minute show live off the phone, because I know a lot of you like those sort of raw videos, and it's just going to be a quick summary of what's going on that particular day for Manchester United. Obviously, we're talking all rumours, whether they're nonsense, true, likely to happen, people going out the door, and that will start off from tomorrow. So if you are one of them unfortunate people who's back at work tomorrow, I'm sure you've all had, hopefully you've all had a good Christmas. It's a fantastic time of the year. It's sad that it's over, but you know what? There's so much football. There's so much to get involved with, and the United Stand family army, which I'm sure you're all part of, it doesn't stop. And at this time of the year, there's no international breaks. There's nothing like that. It's football, football, football. We're on live every day for you anyway, aren't we? Normally at 8:30. So get on. We're not live at 8:30 tonight, because obviously this is going to go right the way up until about 8 o'clock. Then we'll do the match reaction. We're back tomorrow night at 8:30 with I think we're going to do a transfer show tomorrow. We will do a Skype Goldbridge this week as well. But as I said, in between that, 8:30 live every night this week from tomorrow. But we're also going to be putting up 5-minute sort of like blog about transfers for you all the way through January. So that's there for you as well. And of course, subscribe to the United Stand if you're new. In fact, I hadn't turned that on. So if you look in the bottom right hand corner now, you can see our live subscriber count. We hit 60,000 on the last Watchalong. We may well hit 60,500 today. We may hit 61,000. Who knows? But get subscribing, subscribe to the channel, and if you are new, subscribe. It is the United Stand. This is the biggest independent United fan channel. It's all about your opinion. That's a live comments box next to me there. That's always with us for every show, because it is about your content, your opinion. Skype Goldbridge is when you can Skype in and have your say. You dictate the show completely. But if you found the United Stand just because it's a watch along, please give us your views on our other videos. When we do Skype Goldbridge and people Skype in, when we're doing the transfer shows, when we're doing Sunday Night Live at 8:30 reviewing the week for United, get involved and become part of that, because that's the bit. That's what the United Stand's all about. And the bigger we get, the bigger your voice gets. So Mark79 says, I think Harry Kane would be great at Old Trafford. I tweeted it last night. I'd rather keep Fellaini. I don't like Harry Kane. I think his ball control's pretty poor. In fact, I think he's a big game bottler like Lukaku. I think they score goals against the likes of Watford and teams like that. But I think in the big games, they more often than not, they go missing. And I think he's proved that a few times. So, no, I'm not a massive fan of Harry Kane. And certainly not for the sort of the money that he would cost being British. He's not one for me. Henry King says, Martial to Sevilla. What's your thoughts? Not going to happen. Total nonsense. Our defence is not the best, says Supreme. It's the best we can put out at the moment. Happy birthday to Fosu Menza. Martial is not going anywhere, says Javina, which I totally agree with. What's the Skype ID? It's Mark Goldbridge. I'm going to change it though, because apparently there's a lot of people copying it, so we'll probably have to change it each week just so you know what the unique one is. Mike says that Kane's too slow, which he is. He's very, very slow when he's starting off with the ball. Harry saying that Martial won't be leaving. He should sack his agent. He should sack his agent for coming out and saying that Sevilla's a move that Martial would be interesting. I don't like football agents. I know some of I don't think many people do. I've said it before. We've benefited from an agent in the summer with Raiola, but he'll annoy us at some point, because it's all about the moolah. And I think agents in football, it's just to be honest, agents don't go hand in hand with fans, because fans, in the main, unless you're a City fan or a Chelsea fan, you support your club. You're not going to change your support of your club, and the most important thing to you is the badge and the club. Players will come and go, managers will come and go, but the club is what matters. Agents are only focused on their player and getting lots of money for them and their player. They've got no loyalty to Manchester United. The only loyalty they've got to Manchester United is Manchester United give them the most money, which is what we did with Raiola. 2 or 3 years down the line, Raiola might decide, I want Mkhitaryan and Pogba to go to Real Madrid because they're going to pay double the money, and Man United will be like, I don't want to pay that, and we'll come off worse. That's agents for you. But I think Anthony Martial's agent should be sacked. He's an absolute idiot for coming out and saying stuff like that so openly, when Martial at that time, as much as I like him, needs to be getting his head down and doing what he did at the weekend. Martial should be a striker, says Dylan. I think he is a striker. I do agree with that, but people may not be old enough to remember Thierry Henry. He played as a winger for a long time, well into his 20s. I think he was 22 or 23 before he started playing up front. Well, Martial's not that age yet, and the great thing about Tony Martial is he's at his best when he's running at somebody, when he's running forward with the ball and the goal ahead of him. That's where he's at his most dangerous. He's not at his most dangerous when he's got his back to goal and he's got centre-backs within 2 yards of him and he can't turn around. So at the moment, in his development years, he's developing far better on the left-hand side. He'll also learn far more about his defensive responsibilities by having to cover a full-back. So he's in the right place. I think he can be an option, though, definitely up front. But the referee is a good point, Geeton Evans. The referee is Mike Dean, the Spurs fan. He's refereed 3 Spurs games this season, and he's sent off the opponent, one player of the opponent in every game. Obviously, we aren't playing Spurs today, but we are trying to catch Spurs, and I just worry that he might give a few dodgy decisions against us. But Riz Khan says, I hope Manchester United and West Ham draw. Must be a Liverpool fan. And we need to get our goal difference up, says Weather Geekel. The goal difference would be nice to get it up, but I'm not one of those people who actually is really even worrying about goal difference at the moment, because I think that's greedy. I think we've come from a position up until a month ago where we weren't even winning games. At the moment, goal difference would be nice, but we are playing away to West Ham. I'll take a 1-0. I'll take a 1-0 now, because I think 3 points is more important. Goal difference only comes into it if you finish on the same points as somebody else, which granted, in the last few years, we've lost the title and we lost 4th. We actually finished 4th like this last season gone under Van Gaal, but missed out on goal difference to City. So, yeah, goal difference is important, but I think at the moment, I don't care. If we grind out 1-0s between now and the end of the season, every game left, we'll comfortably in the top 4. So goal difference doesn't necessarily bother me too much. I'd like to see us beat a team 3 or 4-0. Of course we would, but it's difficult. We've hit 60,500 subscribers. Thanks for that, Jefferson. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. The watch-alongs are always enjoyable for that. But my message is to you, if you are new, please do subscribe. Like the video. We always like to get 1,000 likes on a watch along, because you are massively part of it. We are 7-8 minutes away from kickoff. The timer will be up and working. I know the Draughty Devils already messaged me about that. It will be up and working. In fact, I'll test it for you now. But for me, it's always about, if you do subscribe, please just join us for the other stuff, because that's where the channel really takes on its identity, especially things like Skype Goldbridge. So there's the timer. It's actually running now, just below the score up in the top right hand corner. So when the game kicks off, the timer will kick in and you'll be able to see how far into the game we are. If you watch the watch along on New Year's Eve, we had a few problems, but everything seems to be in order today, which is great. So I'll turn that timer off for you now, and as soon as the game kicks off, we will start it up for you. So everything is working well, which is great. I hope, just very quickly, I just want to say Happy New Year. I know I did the thing yesterday. I think it's going to be a great year for Manchester United, and hopefully for the United stand as well, so keep getting involved. And back to work for me tomorrow as well, which is, it's one of them things, isn't it? All good things come to an end. I do like this time of year that we've just had. I'll be keeping my Christmas tree up until the 6th on Saturday, because I'm a traditionalist and it's 12 days of Christmas, but we are drawing towards the end of it now. It was a very nice time of the year. It's very sad to have to go back to work, and it's, you haven't got all the excitement of Christmas, but it's a new year as well. It's a new year. We've got football pretty much week to week, twice a week until March. Then it'll be Easter, and I think hopefully by then we'll be in the top 4 and hopefully in the latter stages of some cups. Then we've got the summer, which is transfers, and then we've got a new season where I think we'll be going for the title consistently next season. But I really am excited by it. I think the cups are going to be interesting. Europa League, League Cup, and and the FA Cup. May could be great. We could have a couple of cup finals there. I know the League Cup would be in February anyway, but I'd like to retain the FA Cup. I'd like to win the Europa League because we've never done it. And St Etienne should be a comfortable game to get through. The issue is going to be how it'll affect our league form, which is why I think winning today is so important. You've got to get those points when they're on offer. It won't be too long until we're playing Thursday, Sunday again, and we've seen consistently over the years how that can impact on your form. So getting as many points as we can now and getting ourselves into the top 4 before the Europa League starts would be fantastic. And I think you've got to give that credit as well, because I am betting today, Mahmood. I'll tell you what my bet is. But you've got to give credit to the team. I'll never shy away from things that I've said, and then when I'm proved wrong. Quite rightly, I won't do it the other way around. I've always said Fellaini for 3 years is crap, and I'm consistent about that. Last January, I said, unfortunately, United won't get top 4, and they didn't. At the start of December, when Fellaini did that stupid thing in the penalty box, I felt top 4 was going to need something unbelievable. In fact, I said it was gone. What they've done over the last few weeks is do something they haven't done all season. Grind out results, win football games, and get themselves right in the mix for top 4. And I think if we'd said at the start of December that by the time the Europa League kicks in mid-February, we will be in the top 4, and I think there's a very good chance we will be, you'd be applauding that. So absolutely fantastic. I don't think the United get the credit they deserve, like Ross says, but I've not met a Manchester United fan who isn't firmly in the Mourinho camp. I think he's doing the right things at the club. I personally thought that when the Europa League kicks in the middle of February, we were within 5 points of 4th, we'd have a decision to make. Do we go all out to try and get that top 4, or do we go all out for the Europa League? Because I don't think you can do both. There's a good chance, if we keep doing what we're doing now, we could be in the top 4 when the Europa League kicks in, which, again, I still think we've got a decision to make as to what the priority is, but we've got a good squad. We've got a very good squad of players, and we need to use it. And that's why today we are using that squad. Martial, I think if this game was next weekend, Martial would play, but it's 48 hours later. Lingard is a squad player, and he's coming in as fresh legs against a West Ham side that have got a lot of energy. Spot on. I totally agree with it. My bet today was Zlatan to score at any time, which was at 1.7. And hopefully that will come off. But he should have scored on the weekend. That refereeing was absolutely shocking, and I have got concerns today about the referee, I must admit. Can't lie and say that I don't. We've had a lot of bad refereeing decisions, as many people know, and we sort of have to do things at the moment without the referees. Wouldn't even say help, because that's not the right word. Without consistency, they seem to be against us. I mean, I'm amazed by the lack of press. I know Gary Lineker tweeted out, fair play, on Twitter, that it was a shocking decision that Zlatan's goal wasn't given against Borough. But there's not been anything from the press or anything like that. United, Mourinho sneezes on somebody and it's back page news. But that refereeing decision was absolutely abysmal. There should have been an apology for it, but typically that there isn't. But we're going to have to win this game, and you should, even after the Borough game. The Borough mistake by that, we said there's plenty of time to get back in this game, and we managed to do it. We're going to have to win this game today. We don't want to be relying on referees. What we want is a little bit of consistency, don't we? I'm excited about this game. It's more exciting than the Borough and Sunderland game in a way, because I think Borough and Sunderland, even before those games happened, we were sort of saying that's 6 points in the bank and we needed to get them. So there was that pressure when we went 1-0 down to Borough, and it made it quite uncomfortable, but ultimately amazing. This game, we need to win it. But I'm not going into it saying we're going to win it, because I don't know what we're going to get from West Ham. I don't know whether this rumour that their home ground is a joke and they play it like they're away. Hopefully that's true. Hopefully there is no atmosphere, and hopefully we can dictate to them. But it's Manchester United coming into town, and how many teams over the years, it's their cup final of the season, and I don't think West Ham will be any different. They certainly weren't last year, were they? But we've got the bench to do it. Sometimes we look at the team and we say the bench is a bit weak. You've got Rashford on the bench. You've got Martial on the bench. Mata on the bench. You've got players who can come on and make a big difference. I think Mata's been quite unlucky. Rooney's out injured, and Mata came on at the weekend and did quite well, didn't he, for that last half an hour? Rooney. Who's Wayne Rooney? I don't mean that derogatory, but it just shows you another thing that Mourinho's done this year is really move the team away from a reliance on Rooney, which a lot of us wanted, because Rooney is a fire that's on his way out because of age. I still think Rooney's got a massive amount to offer us in this latter part of the season, experience and ability, but he's not the be all and end all at United. We're turning a new page, and I've got nothing against Rooney, but it just shows you the steps forward we've made. That the last 2 games where we're not having to win games, and we're not really missing Wayne Rooney, are we? But we're off, and because we're off, I'm typically late, garbling on about the time, and let's start the timer. I've got that wrong as well. Let me stop. Okay, we're off. The timer should come up for you now. So we're 25 seconds in, and what I didn't say as well is, please do drop us a like on the video, because we like to get 1,000 likes for you on these, because you're massively part of it. I'm looking at the live comments now. We're watching it together. I'll keep you updated with what's going on, and tactical stuff really. What do you think's working well? What's not working well? What substitutions you'd make later in the game, or even if you see it early on. Any little things that you spot tactically would be great, because we like to read that sort of thing out. Any little analogies or funny little jokes you've got, we'll read that out as well. But interact with each other, get involved, and United just keeping the ball at the moment, and West Ham letting us keep it. And I tell you what, let's enjoy the game, hopefully, and let's hopefully get 3 points, because Liverpool have dropped points today. We didn't expect that. We know that this game week, if we can win it, we'll make ground up on Chelsea or Spurs. If we win this, we'll make ground up on a bonus team as well, because Liverpool have bottled it at Sunderland. Of all teams to bottle it, Liverpool bottled it at Sunderland. And you know what? City nearly did at home to Burnley. And people talk about goal difference. Well, they've only made 1, haven't they, today, when they probably thought they might get 3 or 4. So, in fact, Burnley, I think Burnley bottled it. City were down for 10 men for a long time. I think they've clearly got their tactics wrong and still sat back. They should have gone for it. There was points to be had there, but decent start from United. I've not watched a game at this new ground for West Ham yet, but there is a massive gap, isn't there, from the you think back to the old West Ham ground where it was very intense. There is that massive gap because of the track here, and it takes time to get used to a stadium. I remember Arsenal having the same problem. Who knows who are Arsenal playing this week? They must be away, because they had 2 home games like us, but I can't think who they'd be playing. It must be, they're playing Bournemouth away, I think, aren't they? So you never know. We could get them getting a result there, because of course Bournemouth beat Arsenal. But I think Arsenal do this every year, don't they? They're never going to win a title, but they defend that top 4 position like their lives depend on it. If anyone knows how to finish 4th, it's Arsenal, and they've clearly had to start a little bit early this year. Chad Ferrand, Carrick getting control of the game, which is good to see. We're pressing West Ham well. Valencia is one of United's fastest players ever in his 30s, says Supreme. Shaxter, that's nice of you. Fair enough. Pogba, Herrera and Carrick, best midfield trio in the Premier League, says the Red Flame. I agree, I really do. I think they are absolutely superb. Maybe not individually the best, although I think Pogba is, but certainly in relation to the balance that they bring as a 3, I think they're absolutely superb, and so I do agree with that with you. West Ham with the ball at the moment. Liverpool did draw, that's right, Abia. And Pogba is a beast, says Denny, which I agree with. I think he's a fantastic player. I was talking about that, if you've joined us late, I was talking about Pogba in the first half, and not the first half, before the game. And there aren't many people in football, certainly not in the Premier League, who have that ability in centre midfield to run at players, go past players, and I think that's just, you know, that gives that makes him worth a third of his transfer fee straight away, because there just aren't many players who do that. And if in football, in any level of football, if you've got somebody who can run past players, then it messes up a team tactically straight away, because their whole system falls apart if that one player goes past the player. Someone's got to go to him, which frees up somebody else. So it's a massive attribute to have within a Manchester United team when you've got a centre midfielder who can run past players. You expect it on the wings. That's why your left winger or right winger always tuck in with your fullback, so there's cover. But in the midfield, if you've got a player running past players, it really causes issues, and Pogba is fantastic at it. There's not many people who can do it. I mean, the one I remember doing it when I was younger was Paul Gascoigne, and it used to cause teams a lot of problems because he picked the ball up in the midfield and just go. And you know, the midfield is full of powerhouse engines really they're not really used to having people taking them on. And Pogba gets a lot, and he will get better. You know, he's going to get better because of his age anyway, being 23. But I still don't think he's totally adjusted to the Premier League yet. Zlatan offside from the ball over the top there, but Byrie Beckford betted on a Liverpool draw. Brave man. We've hit 60,600 subscribers, says Callum Cameron. Thank you very much. And Joe Pennington clearly not aware that we can't show you the game. The United Stand, as I said to you before, it is an independent fan channel, and we have daily content talking about all things from transfers to whatever. But if we started showing you what I'm watching on the screen now, we'd be shut down because we haven't paid for the rights for it, and we're not about to do stuff like that. Valencia just shepherding it out for a goal kick there. He's been a revelation, Valencia. He's so well built as well. He's an absolute monster, isn't he? But yeah, we're talking about Valencia as well, weren't we? I've always been critical of Valencia, saying that he's not a right back. Positionally, he costs us 2 or 3 goals a season in the big games, which he has done up until this year, because what Mourinho's done with Valencia is the same thing that he's done with Jones and Rojo. He's a brilliant defensive coach, and he's taught them how to defend. Rojo used to get skinned all the time, or he'd stand back and let people get shots away. Doesn't happen anymore. You know, Valencia is far, far better now positionally, and he never was. And this is down to Mourinho and his coaches, and them teaching him. Supreme wishes Hernandez was still here. What's the lineup, says Joseph Anderson. It's going along the bottom of the screen now. It's underneath the live comments on our attacker, but it's Dyer in goal, Valencia, Jones and Rojo, Darmian's at left back, no Blin today. Carrick is back in with Herrera and Pogba. Lingard on the left, Lingard's playing on the right, Mkhitaryan on the left, and Zlatan up front. And there's a chance for West Ham here. It's going wide, but De Gea's going to keep it in. Halam says, let's hit 61,000 subscribers before the end of the game. You might do it. It's ticking over nice. As I say, if you are new, I know we do get new viewers when we're doing the watch-alongs. Subscribe, but don't just watch the watch-alongs. Watch some of our stuff like tomorrow night at 8:30 and get involved. There's always a live comments box, and it's nearly as big as me. But you're a massive part of the show, and that's what it's all about. It's all West Ham at the moment, says Clark Kent. They are getting a lot of ball at the moment, but we're nearly 10 minutes in. No chances for either side. And you've got to remember as well, it's the second game in 48 hours, and Lingard's doing a lot of running because obviously he's the freshest player. I don't think it's going to be played anything like it would be if there was, 3 or 4 games between it. But there's Pogba again going past the midfielder, and Zlatan. They are playing offside. They're playing offside, West Ham. Hands up's on about Rojo and his improvement, but he should have had 2 red cards. He should have done. They were silly tackles. He did get away with it, and whether we would have won those games if the referee had done what they should have done, I agree. That's up for debate. But what's also up for debate is if the referees had given us some of the decisions we should have had over the last few games, that'd be a different story as well. Pogba should be playing that to Mkhitaryan far quicker than he does. He does get it to Mkhitaryan, but West Ham have got players back now. Mkhitaryan is in the box. Don't know whether he'll shoot. tried to get the cross in. Darmian needs to be stronger there. And West Ham are on the break here. Well, they're not on the break, but they're on the attack. Payet, there'll be a shot here for West Ham. And it's just gone wide. I don't know whether De Gea got a hand on it. But it was well worked by West Ham. Just on the edge of the box. Lanzini, we'll see it back now. Totally unmarked. And it's a good save by De Gea. Good save by De Gea, that. We do look slow. It was a very good comment you've whizzed by. We do look slow. But this might be one of them games where De Gea, we need De Gea. We've been saying he's not been used that much so far this season, but there's going to be games where De Gea shows his true quality, isn't there? We nearly got the break. Here's Pogba though coming through the midfield, and again we're looking for a pass that really isn't there. If you're on Twitter, just have a look at the last retweet we've done. It's from the Draughty Devil, brilliant. First in a while that they were being controlled to Zantek. I think we're having to play quite controlled because it's all about energy levels, isn't it? There's a nice little ball out to the right back position here. I think it might have gone too far for Lingard. Thankfully, he has got the legs. I thought it was Carrick for a minute. There would have been no chance. But nice little movement to the ball. What I'd like to see us do today, what we didn't do against West Brom so well, was actually retain the ball quite well and keep the ball. Because if you are a tired team and you're looking to conserve energy, keeping the ball well is a big bonus. And at the moment, although they're the sort of passes that Fellaini could make because they're all 5 yards and sideways, at least we are doing that. And as somebody said, we are slow, but I think that's because it's our second game in 48 hours. We will have put a lot of energy into that last 15 minutes to win at Borough. So it will suit us if the game is slower. But we can't be slow enough that football can change very quickly. You don't want to be 3 or 4-0 down. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but you know what I mean. If West Ham go up a couple of levels or a couple of gears, then we need to go up them gears with us. But they're getting a lot of men behind the ball, West Ham. This seems to be the tactic against United, and it used to be the tactic under Sir Alex Ferguson as well. You get 11 men behind the ball, and then when you get the ball, you try and hit us on the break because we've obviously got players forward. So it's nothing new, and I think that is a really really interesting point to make because we've been told for the last 2 years how people come to Old Trafford and they have a go because they don't respect us anymore, which I think was true under Moyes and Van Gaal, but it's certainly not like that anymore. And that's a testament to where United are going and what Mourinho has actually done with United. Is that teams play like they do. They play like they do against us, like they did against Sir Alex. It's not. They don't come and have a go anymore. They get people behind the ball and they try and hit us on the break. Darmian here, idiotically letting it go out for a throw-in when it went off him. Darmian's an interesting one. I don't mind Darmian. I don't think he's probably ultimately good enough, but he does get picked a lot by Mourinho. And I don't know whether Daley Blind has got a knock or it's just because he played on the weekend, but really could do with Luke Shaw finding some form and getting back because we need a left back who could do what Valencia does down the right, and Luke Shaw's tailor-made for that with the pace and the ability he has going forward. West Ham, though, they seem to... I don't know what Michael Carrick's doing today. God, Phil Jones could be injured here. He's gone in for a 50-50 and the West Ham player's gone right through him. And to be fair, we always say Phil Jones gets injured a lot. But in that situation, I think it's quite likely he is injured because it's a 50-50 ball and the West Ham player has gone through him. think there'll be a yellow card. Red card for West Ham player. What the heck? Mike Dean's pulled a red. Well, I don't know. I do not know. Let's watch it back. I don't think it's a red card. I don't think it's a red card. No, it's not a red card. That isn't a red card. I mean, give us your thoughts, everybody. I'm just tweeting out. I don't think that's a red card. It's a sideways tackle. We'll take it. We've had so many bad decisions in the past, but I don't think it's a red. Clark Kent will take it, but it's not a red card. It's a yellow. I'm like that though. You know what? We've had so many bad decisions this season as Manchester United fans, referees, and everyone comes on and says, "Oh, you know, bitter and everything like that." We've got a massive advantage in this game now, and of course, hopefully we will take it. But I will tell you now, live, as this happens, this is not a red card, and I don't think it's a red card. I mean, look, I'm looking at that angle, and he is launching, but. Herman's saying, you know what, actually, having watched it again, I'm now thinking it might be a red, but it was reckless, I suppose. But, Surinder's saying it's 50-50, he lunged. A lot of you saying it's harsh. The thing is, I think we're always quite fair on this channel, and not just me, the viewers as well. And my first thought is, if that was a United player, what would I think? And I think I would have thought that's a bit harsh. But what we've got to go and do now is win this game, because West Ham are on the ropes. They've got 10 men. We should be getting at least a point out of this, which, well, we don't want a point. We want to win it, don't we? So, but we've got to be very careful. I mean, there's somebody just dived in there. Absolutely idiotic. It's not even a yellow card. This is stupid from United. And I hope it's not Herrera, because what you've got to do in that situation is not start doing silly little tackles like this. Lingard, just don't make any tackles. And West Ham will obviously dive around to try and get somebody sent off. But it's an interesting one now, folks. It's very interesting where this is going to go. Michael saying that Mike Dean might give him a penalty just to even things out. What we need to do now is just keep hold of the ball. We were doing it quite well anyway. We've got the extra man. Keep hold of the ball. We don't need to push it. Tie them out. Play around their box. Get some crosses into the box for Zlatan. Don't make any silly tackles. Don't give silly ball away. I mean, I think to be honest, in the first 15 minutes, Lingard's been shit, to be honest. He's given the ball away twice. He's put that silly tackle in. Someone needs to get hold of Lingard and say, I mean, I feel bad for saying this because he's not a kid, he's 24. Grab hold of him and say, look, switch on. We've got an extra man. We win this game. We're in a great position. Just do the simple things. Press, get the ball, play a pass. And calm down. Calm down. It's all about wise heads now. The worst thing we can do is give West Ham or the referee a decision to level out, because I don't think that was a red card. But we'll take it. We've had so many bad results, bad decisions against us. There is an extra man in this pitch. Like Valencia's got some freedom here. Little cross into Zlatan. Oh, Pogba trying to overdo it. Play the simple pass. Darmian, you're going to get a lot. Don't overplay it. Put the ball into the box. That's a decent cross. Keeper comes. It won't go quite for a corner, but Mkhitaryan will pick it up. And this is what you do. Keep hold of the ball. Start causing them some problems. Darmian's got it here on the edge. You've got lots of time to put the cross in, Darmian. It's not bad. And it's into the keeper's hands. But just keep rotating the ball. Hirsch says it wasn't a penalty. We were lucky. Zlatan needs some good crosses and Lingard isn't delivering. Remember, we've got subs to use. I mean, this is where the likes of Rashford and Martial could be very, very impactful in the second half. They're down to 10 men. We're not even 20 minutes in. It's their second game in 48 hours. Patience. Keep the ball, and we'll win this game. Steve Anton says he'd take Lingard off already because he's playing really bad. Let's just see what the reaction on Twitter was. I said, no way, that's a red, in fairness. And a lot of people agreed with that. And I said red card for West Ham. A lot of people didn't think it was a red card. But here's Zlatan on the edge. He's lost the ball and West Ham come away with it. But this is this should be bread and butter for Mourinho, because I'm no manager, as you know, certainly not managing in the Premier League. And like I say, patience, keep the ball, tire them out, use Rashford and Martial in the second half, and this game is won. It's just about tiring them out. We don't need to, people who don't understand football will be like, oh, they're down to 10 men, we've not had any shots on goal yet. It's not necessarily about that. It's about using the ball wisely, not getting nervous. We've got the players to do that with Carrick, Herrera, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and work it. And look, you know what? Burnley were down. City were down to 10 men against Burnley. Burnley screwed up with idiotic tactics. You've got to attack like we will attack in this game. That's where you'll find the extra man. That's where you tire the opposition out, both mentally and physically. West Ham will feel an air of justice for a long time in this game, so their adrenaline levels will go up for the next 10 minutes, and they'll have superhuman strength. And I'm sure if you offered West Ham a point now, they'd take it. Russell says, Russell22W, they're going to shut up shop now, which we will. Anthony saying now we'll see how good we really are. It's not always easy to break down a team that's got 10 men. Do not assume we will hammer them, says Skull13. I like the pun, if you meant it. Rooney's still ill, Swiss cheese apple, yep. Mad Mark says like and share the video. Please do like it. It's nice to get to 1,000 likes before half time. We've just hit bang on 60,700 subscribers. So if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It's free, and the great thing about it is you'll get notifications every time we go live, because we are a live content channel. All of our content is always live with live comments, etc. And if you are new, make sure you tune in tomorrow night at 8:30, or the live vlog we'll have for you tomorrow talking about transfers. Always something going on every day, normally at 8:30, but because it's the transfer window, we're going to be doing like 5-minute live vlogs of the latest United news as well. So if you found us, welcome. It's probably the best thing you've done of 2017 so far, if you're a United fan. Although we do have a lot of people who watch who aren't United fans, you're all welcome. And get involved. Get involved. It is about fan opinion. It's not about ex-pros scripted telling you what they think. It's not about doing things because that's what people want and like. It's about real opinion. That's what the United stand is. And more and more people are copying that. So it's obviously the right way to go. It's about getting the fans' voice back in football, because for too long, all they want is the money out your pocket. They don't want to listen to what your opinion is. But United are just... we're just struggling to make that last pass at the moment, but I'm sure it will come. And West Ham are going to get very tired in this game. And they're going to start looking for fouls as well. And the ref isn't giving them any at the moment, which I don't think either of those two fouls on West Ham players were fouls, but they're chucking themselves around a lot. We could, ideally we do need a goal, because the longer it goes on without us having a goal, you never know if anyone's going to make anything stupid. But I'm sure Jose Mourinho will have said, no silly tackles. Don't make any silly tackles. Don't give the referee any opportunity to level this out. Adrian Smith wants us to get 75,635 subscribers for 2018, so we've got the same as the Old Trafford capacity. That would be nice. Hands Up says, is there any news on the grapevine that anybody wants Fellaini? Well, there is interest in Fellaini. There are at least 2 Premier League clubs who would like him. There's always been interest in Italy for him. There's a lot of interest. Well, there's not a lot, but there are people who would take Fellaini off our hands for probably anywhere between 10 and 15 million, which I think is a very, very good deal. However, Mourinho doesn't want to sell him. There's a reason he picked him on Saturday. There's a reason he gets to come on every game for the last 5 minutes. Mourinho likes him, and I think it's his biggest mistake at United so far. I mean, let's not forget, we started the season with Fellaini in our team. He ignored Michael Carrick until pretty much the start of November, and it's the biggest mistake Mourinho's made at Manchester United. But yeah, the sooner we sell Fellaini, the better. I feel he's like a bit of a Jonah, really. You know, we've never finished higher than 4th with him in the team. In fact, we've had 2 seasons with him where we've not even been in the top 4. So I'd love to see him go. There are people would buy him, but the news we're getting is he's not for sale. Omar doesn't want him sold. Leon7 says Young and Fellaini are here. Yeah, both on the bench, as you'll see below the live comments there. The subs today are Romero, Smalling, Fellaini, Mata, Ashley Young, Marcus Rashford, and Anthony Martial. Fellaini might be used. You know what? Let's be totally honest. Fellaini was actually played in the position where, I mean, I don't think he's good enough for United anyway, but if you're going to play him in one position, it should be off Zlatan in the final sort of 10 yards. A pull by Pogba. Good tackle by Valencia. Break is now on for us down that right-hand side. I say break, West Ham aren't really committing players. He made a good run there. He's onside, Mkhitaryan, but they've got 3 players on him. The goal would make the difference in this game because West Ham can't do what they're doing then. But we're switching it quite well. There's a pass to Mkhitaryan there. I wish bloody... That's the one. Valencia now in the box. Poor cross back there. But Fellaini could become useful. I mean, let's say this game stays as it is. 0-0. They're down to 10 men. You put Fellaini on for the last 10 minutes. That's exactly what I would use Fellaini for. Whacking them into the box. Because if we can't pass our way through them, we might have to try something else. Awesome Boy FTW says, I don't like Fellaini, but he has been good for us at times. Don't know what times he's on about. We're selling the midfield, so I'd bring in reinforcements before selling Fellaini, says Lord Fifth. Which I think is basically what's going to happen. I'd be amazed if Fellaini's here beyond the summer, because that would mean giving him a new contract, which I think would cause, not all United fans, but a lot of us would be pretty fed up with that. Pogba is having a good game, and he's broken that up nicely. Just keep hold of the ball. The thing is, when you're on the attack against 10 men, there's always 2 spare players if you move intelligently. And all clubs will train. It won't be like they won't train on it all week because you don't know how often you're going to play against 10 men. But you'll certainly work on it because it's so, football's such big business now, especially in the Premier League. I'm not even just talking about money, about status. It's like penalties, isn't it? You'd be an idiot not to have practiced playing against 10 men, and it'd be part of the training routine. But we've not managed to create a chance yet. But West Ham are digging in, as you would expect. And in some ways, the game might have been easier for us if we were playing 11 men, but we've got to do it now. Hursty MUFC, yes, I did see Paul Merson's comments on Martial, where they said that they should sell, West Ham should sell Payet, who's nearly 30 for 30 million, and buy Martial offers for 20 million when we bought him for 38 million a year ago, and he's only 20 years of age. Not going to happen. But West Ham are actually on the attack here at the moment, which it's not necessarily a bad thing. The more West Ham have to run forward, the better. It is all about, awesomeness there saying we should be pressing better, which I would agree, we do need to do that, but patience is the key. We're 28 minutes into this game. We look vulnerable down the left, says Ozeg Caban. I hope I've got that right, Uefu. That's because Damian's playing. West Ham did get a red. Hi. That was a few minutes ago. What do you think the top 4 is going to be, says Ivan. I think the top four is going to change opinion over a number of weeks. I do think the top four is very interesting. I think Chelsea are obviously going to get top four. I think they'll probably win the league, but if they, for them not to get top four from the position they are now would be a real shock. So I think Chelsea have got one. I think we will get one, so that's two. I do think City will get one as well, so that's three. And then Liverpool or Arsenal for the fourth one. I do think it's, even though Liverpool have dropped points today, you'd say on their form so far they deserve top four. I mean, I don't like Liverpool, but they have, they probably do deserve top four. But there's half a season to go. We've been saying this for so long. You get all these Liverpool and Arsenal fans going, you're still in sixth, you're still in sixth. And yeah, we are still in sixth, but we're winning and we are making up points, and it's getting quite congested between second and sixth. And we're not halfway through the season. Well, we are now, but it's only the first fixture of January of 2017, and we go all the way till the middle of May. So there's a long time to go. Long time to go. I think it will change, and I think if Liverpool carried on playing the way they have done, they'd probably be in the top four. But you could say the same against Arsenal. We might not end up in the top four. I do think we will, but we might prioritise the Europa League, and that could mess up our end of the season. But I think the way things are going, we will. Marcus says United looks slow and boring. Let's not forget, second game in 48 hours. We might go in at 0-0 at half time, and Mourinho will obviously sort that out. Another people saying, Lolcat saying it's boring today. I tell you what, it can be boring as it likes, because if we get the 3 points, that's all I'm bothered about. If we get 3 points today, I'll be absolutely ecstatic. It's a very scrappy match, says Peter Doyle. Invisible Ghost not happy with Lingard. He'd probably come up with a goal for us, which is more than enough. But we need to play the forward pass a bit. I do agree with the fact that West Ham are down to 10 men. We need to sort of, you can tire them out physically, but we also need to tire them out mentally. And that means commit players forward, get into their final third, because where Pogba's got it now, which is in the centre circle, that ain't going to cause them many concerns. That's a poor pass. Poor pass. I think we're sort of contributing to our own downfall here. But I did say before the game I would happily take a 1-0 win, and it'd be a bloody joke if we don't, let's be honest. But it's not been the best start, and in West Ham have got a lot of space there down the right, which is a bit embarrassing, and the cross is woeful, which is good. That cross was embarrassing. Tracy Connolly says, the United stand, why do you like Manchester United? Well, I'll throw that to the live comments while we're all a little bit bored. Couple of sentences. Why do you support Manchester United? I support Manchester United because my granddad supports Manchester United and my mum supports Manchester United. My granddad did support Manchester United. He's not alive anymore, but he was a massive fan of United, the Busby Babes especially. Duncan Edwards from Dudley. I mean, not a lot of people will know that the Busby Babes weren't all from Manchester. So Bobby Charlton obviously was a Newcastle lad. Duncan Edwards from Dudley. We signed Tommy Taylor, who wasn't a youth player anyway. He was one of the best strikers in the world, from Barnsley. So this whole youth thing sort of started for United in the 50s. They were one of the first teams to do it. Certainly the first team to go into Europe. It sort of captured the imagination of the nation. And then the tragedy happened, and a lot of people sort of supported United from that. My granddad certainly supported United before that with the Busby Babes, and I was sort of brought up on it really in the 80s, late 80s, and my mum supported them because her granddad did, her dad did, and she had obviously had a massive crush on George Best, etc. And that's where it started from really. So yeah. Surinder says the game is crying out for Martial or Rashford. Who's your best player, says Luke Macy. I get asked this all the time. I mean, at the moment, I'd say Rashford's still my best favourite player. And it's simply because of what I was just talking about there. He's part of the youth system, which is what United should and always have been about. He's English, which is great. You could have a youth player who comes through the youth setup who isn't British, by the way. But in being British, Manchester United are a British club. So I like that as well. Not that I'm in any way biased about British players, because I do like Anthony Martial a lot, as people will know. And I think also he's got such potential to be one of the best players in the league, and he's ready. It's just unfortunate at the moment we've got Zlatan. This should be 1-0. What a miss. What a miss. It wasn't offside. I don't know why Mkhitaryan didn't shoot. It's a cross by Zlatan, right, and he's in the 6-yard box on the left-hand side. And instead of shooting, Mkhitaryan... Well, it's hard for Mkhitaryan. It's a pass back. And Lingard, sorry. What a miss. He hits it against the keeper, and then he hits it against the post from about 3 yards out. I don't think Mkhitaryan probably should have shot on reflection because he was quite wide, but hopefully we're going to get a couple more chances in this game. Pogba's playing. I do think Pogba's playing quite well. Go on, your overlaps there for you, Darmian. Oh, God. I mean, Darmian is just not the sort of player for this game. I would get Ashley Young on because we're going to be on the attack in this game, and he's a defensive left-back. But this is where you've got to put the cross into the box. They've got all their men behind the ball, all on the edge of the box. Start putting some crosses into the box. Shout out Mark, says 2-1. Do you think that red card was fair, says Harambe for life? No, I don't. I don't think it was a red card. I said it at the time, and I think a lot of us agree. But we've had a lot of unfair results against us. Zlatan is in here and onside. Oh, God. Rugby goal. Rugby goal. What is he doing? We've got Zlatan any time to score. Well, he should have bloody scored then. Lolcats is saying we're too tired for this. Yeah, well, they're down to 10 men. Literally can't attack, Darmian, says Atul, which I agree with. I think Darmian and Lingard have been pretty poor in this game. It wasn't Lingard who missed it. It was no goal for Valencia as well because the whole ball didn't go over the line. That's technology for you. And then Lingard missed an open goal. Well, they both missed an open goal. Generic name one says Ibra is a disgrace today. Harsh, I think. Harsh, I think. We're not even at half time yet. There'll be a telling off at half time. Don't worry, but that is offside for Valencia. You see, Valencia, I know he missed that chance, but he is grasping what he needs to do. We're down to 10 men. He's playing like a right winger. Darmian needs to come off. He's a defensive left back, and we are not going to need him in that sort of respect today. And as VK Dean says, how are we not ahead? As much as Portuguese Pulis says, don't make excuses for our poor performance today, Mark. What's poor about people missing 2 shots from 3 yards out? We should be 1-0 up. I'd take 1-0 any day of the week, whether they're down to 10 men or not. I don't think the performance has been poor. I think I don't think people are grasping the fact that 2 games in 48 hours, it's not going to be fast. It's not going to be spot on, but we should be 1-0 up. Valencia and Lingard have got to score those 2 chances. We only get 1 goal for it because it's the same piece of play, but to miss both those chances is a joke. It's West Ham on the attack at the moment. Oh my God, there's West Ham players flying in again. he doesn't want to send 2 people off, but I'd watch this back on Mkhitaryan, and he's not going to give a yellow card for it. Let's watch it. I've got a funny feeling this might be worse. There's not a hell of a lot of difference between that one and Mkhitaryan and the one they got sent off for. One gets a red card, the other gets nothing. Valencia, well won. Herrera, bit of head tennis. Just about to approach 40 minutes into the game. Carrick. Our crossing's been abysmal today. It really has. I think in this sort of game, when you're trying to find chances, I'd get Mata on as soon as possible because he can unlock the defence. And I'd sacrifice a defender. We don't need a flat back 4 against a team that's not doing much. I've been impressed with Pogba. I can't believe we're talking about this at half time because there hasn't been, there's not been enough good performances. I agree with that, but I expected a little bit more from the likes of Lingard, who didn't play at the weekend. That's a good ball by... Oh no, Darmian's just not anticipated it. I think those at home need to just calm down a little bit. I understand the frustration that it's still 0-0 and we're against 10 men, but it's a 90-minute game, and as long as we get this game won, that's all that matters. DMU says, Mark, I think you'd have loads more subscribers if you show us the game you're watching. I can tell you for a fact now we'd have no subscribers because we'd be shut down because it's illegal to show Manchester United on a YouTube channel when you haven't got the rights to do it. So I will stand comments like that corrected because that is not the case. We'd have 0 subscribers if we did that. Liam Hardy says, get Martial on for Lingard because this is shocking. I mean, whether there's a few people giving Darmian some stick. It may be credited because he's not been that good, but he's not an attacking fullback. I mean, if you're going to play Darmian at, and he's going to get a yellow card as well now, just to top it all off. He has been crap. I stand corrected. He's just picked up a silly yellow card. You don't actually need to get. He's put himself in a yellow card now, which is just bloody great. He didn't need to do it. He just body checked somebody, and he didn't need to do it, and then. Well, to be honest, I think, actually, in fairness to Darmian, no, he does hit him. We don't need Darmian. We don't need him on the pitch. He's a defensive fullback. We don't need him. It's all about attacking in this game. And I do think Darmian, he needs to be careful now he's on a yellow card because he could be that game leveler that West Ham... To be honest, if this was 11 against 11 or 10 against 10, West Ham do seem to have a little bit more energy than we have for some reason. Put Fellaini on, says Misha. It's not the most stupidest comment ever. Many people might expect me to sort of bury that sort of comment, but I did say about 20 minutes ago, if this is 0-0 going into the second half, you might want to chuck Fellaini on just for that little bit of physical stuff because the crosses we've been putting in, whilst they've been poor, they're bread and butter for West Ham. I mean, who's this idiot here? Herrera's just weak. I think West Ham have looked far more energetic than we have. Right, we've got a little bit of a break here, but it's a poor pass to Herrera again. That's the second time in like a minute that Herrera's just been knocked off the ball, physically not strong enough. And I'm a massive fan of Herrera, but when it's not good enough from United, and it isn't good enough at the moment, oh my God, it nearly is 1-0 to West Ham. De Gea has been our man of the match. Poor half from United, I think, this. It's a cracking shot. Phil Jones has got to do far better than that. Lets the shot get away. It's going in. And De Gea, man of the match. But I'm not going to cry about it. I'd be crying if we went 1-0 down because that'd be a joke. But Mourinho will be going absolutely apoplectically mad because we're playing 10 men here and we're not creating any chances. I mean, we should be 1-0 up from that chance we had from Valencia, but that save by De Gea was absolutely superb, by the way. It's going in the top corner. He's got right up and palmed it. It's a brilliant save. He made a good save in the first 10 minutes, but that save there, it really should be 1-0 to West Ham, which would be absolutely ridiculous against 10 men. But you know what? West Ham might be down to 10 men, but we're effectively playing with 10 men because Lingard's half the player he can be, and the same for Darmian. So that's, that brings us down to 10 men. You've got an extra man, but everybody needs to be playing well. Like Herrera, I think Herrera's been poor in this game. I mean, everyone knows what I think about Herrera. I really like him, but in the last 3 minutes, I've seen him give the ball away every time and get knocked off the ball. He's having an absolute shocking game as well. There's some poor performances out there today. Get Mata on. Young for Darmian, says Prismek. I'd agree with that. Bailly's gone to the African nations. I don't know why Mane was playing for Liverpool. Mourinho's already in the dressing room. We're very much going to be at half time. We'll get Ross on and get his thoughts as well. It's going to be 0-0 at half time, folks, that's for sure. And as much as Valencia or Lingard should have scored, you could also say the same about West Ham, because that save from De Gea a couple of minutes ago was absolutely superb. Herrera's bleeding apparently. Remarks on Ibra. Malik's asking about Bay. Bay's already gone to the African nation, so he's gone. And I thought Phil Jones defending on that shot that West Ham nearly scored was crap. Let's be honest. People are always going on about how great Phil Jones is, and he has been good. But if it was Smalling, they'd be hung out to dry for that. Letting a player turn and get a shot off at the edge of the box is crap when you're on your feet and you stood within a yard of him. But West Ham finishing the half here with a chance. And that's the end of the half, so it's 0-0. And I think there'll be a lot of United fans not happy with that. But I'm sure as well that Jose Mourinho will make his thoughts be known as well. I thought Pogba played really well. I really do think Pogba has played well. But apart from that, I think Darmian is a waste of space. Just again confirming what a lot of us have felt this season with him, that he's an accident waiting to happen. He's totally redundant in a game like this. Needs to do much, much better. Lingard hasn't turned up for whatever reason. I don't know why. I thought, I've got to be honest about the players that I like. Herrera, I thought he was poor. Really poor, especially in that last 5 minutes there, getting knocked off the ball continually. When you're against 10 men, yes, you've got an extra man, but unfortunately, we've got a few players who just haven't turned up in this game. And if they don't turn up, West Ham do look a threat. West Ham did nearly score just before that game because all their players are up for it. We just were not up for it, and it's just not good enough. Not good enough at all. Mata and Martial, our attack has been poor. Why does Randolph become Superman versus us? Darmian so bad, says Shane Lim. Ridwan saying, let's be honest, we've been poor. Does Lingard ever really turn up, says Ricky Heck. I think he did. I think he did turn up against West Brom in the first half. A couple of weeks ago, I thought he was very, very good. But this half, he's just not been that good at all. Darmian, whether he was playing well or not, he's just not doing what Valencia's done on the right-hand side. Valencia's realised, we're playing against 10 men, I've got to be an extra man going forward. Darmian doesn't know how to do it because he's a defensive fullback. Get him off, get Ashley Young on. Mata for Herrera, Martial for Lingard. Blin for Darmian, Rashford for Lingard, says Adrian Smith. What about Zlatan? A few people about him. I mean, Zlatan, because of his height, he's always going to cause the opposition problems. I said it in the first half. It might shock a few of you, but if it was 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, I'd get Fellaini on because a little bit of height caused people a few problems. I would like to see. Herrera's not been great today. I'd try and get Mata on because Mata is the master in unlocking defenses, isn't he? He set that Pogba goal up, so I would get him on. But the only positive I would take from that half is that we don't deserve to be in front, although we missed 2 chances from 3 yards out. De Gea kept us in it with a fantastic save just before half time. But Mourinho will not be happy because he will know we've been gifted an absolute easy 3 points in some ways because you're against a team that's been very poor at home, who are down to 10 men. You should be able to break them down. We're going to have more than a half to do it. Liverpool have dropped points as well, which nobody would have expected. So the opportunity for us to get something from them, get this game, is there, and it's not been taken so far. But hopefully we will in the second half, and I think he is the man. He is the man to sort of sort it out. Ross is here.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. What was your thoughts on that half, Ross?
What a bizarre half of football, and do you know what? We've criticised the refs so much, and I've been very critical. And again, he's got it wrong, and he's completely ruined this game. I know that we should be thinking that we were due a bit of luck, but I think he's just ruined the game, and they're just going to sit back and we're just waiting for United to score, and we might not because it is hard to score against a team that put every man in the box. But again, the ref's poor. He's trying to make up for his terrible decision by booking everyone he can. Give every foul against United, and he's definitely going to go back in at half time, look at that again and go, what the hell was I on? And it's just so frustrating because I was actually looking forward to a really good game of football, and United have been poor. I'll give you that. We've been poor, but it's because they're sitting every man behind the ball, and it's very frustrating to watch.
I think we'll win it because I think Mourinho will be very frustrated. He was already down the tunnel, sort of like with 2 minutes to go of that half, and he will be annoyed by the fact that one, De Gea kept us in the game just before half time with a world-class save. 2, Lingard and Valencia conspired to miss from 3 yards out. But on the balance of play, I think a draw is fair at half time. I don't think we can say we deserve to be in front of it. I'm concerned. I am concerned. I did say at the time that it wasn't a red card because I'll always be fair. It's nice to get a decision for us because we've had so many against us this year, but it was a poor decision, and I think it dictates the rest of the game, especially when he sees it at half time. If that was a United player making that tackle, I'd have been absolutely not happy. So I understand why West Ham fans would be unhappy, and I'm not going to lie and say that it should have been a red card. I'm waiting to see it again at half time because the last time I saw it, I thought, actually, it was quite reckless, but we'll have a look at that as it comes up again. Lots of people like Sonny Roy getting on about Darmian and Lingard I wasn't happy with, but Darmian, for many reasons, I would take him off. Valencia sort of got it. He figured out that they're down to 10 men. I've got to be almost playing as a right winger. Darmian hasn't picked up on that at all. I don't know whether you can see it on your screen, Ross, but I'm just watching this sending off back now.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, he makes the connection like too soon. If that was like, I don't know. I think it's a yellow card.
Yeah.
The studs aren't shown, but it is reckless. It's not like it shouldn't even be a yellow card. He is off the ground. It's almost like he hits Jones too early. I think if he'd actually done what he was intending to do, it was going to be a red, but his legs weren't extended when he makes the connection.
Gary Neville hit the nail on the head by saying when Phil Jones tackle, he's either going to get his leg broken or break someone else's leg, and that's the way Phil Jones tackles. And I think Feghouli is just been a victim of a Phil Jones tackle where that's Phil Jones giving it 100%.
Yeah, well, if Feghouli got there first, I think maybe Jones would have been the man going off. But I do think it's a harsh red card. But the trouble we were talking about Darmian there is he doesn't know how to attack, so he's basically playing as a defensive left back when we don't need one. And now he's got himself in the book as well. He's surely got to come off. I mean, get Ashley Young on because we've got to score in this game. He's whatever you think about Darmian, and I know a lot of people don't really like him. That's one sub I would make. Would you be making any others, or do you agree with the Darmian one?
You know what? That's a great shout, Mark, Darmian for Ashley Young, because we got Rojo, Jones, and Carrick can almost play as a three at the back and push the others up. Lingard, Valencia, play them as wingers. I'd like to see Martial, Matt. I'd like to see him just do all three, substitutions. To be honest, because Lingard has been poor to say the least, and I think Martial on the form he's in, it can unlock that defence 100%. So, yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think Ashley Young could be a good shout, especially for he can, sort of 2 in 10 deliver a good cross, and that's what Zlatan needs because the crosses ain't coming in from the left because Lingard can't put them in, Darmian certainly can't put them in, so we need something on that side.
Yeah, Dazza7 says Mata would be raped if he was playing. I don't know what he's on about. I think Juan Mata is absolutely perfect for this sort of game where you've got 10 men behind the ball. I mean, they're just showing that chance again for Valencia and Lingard. I mean, Valencia should score because he scuffs it. But what Lingard's doing, professional footballer at any level, I know it can happen. But if we don't win this game, we're going to watch that back and be very, very sick. Lingard, what were your thoughts on him in that half?
Poor, very poor. But, I give Lingard, I don't want to defend him too much, but he has been poor. But it's not Lingard's game, this 10 men behind the ball. He hasn't got the talent to unlock a defence. And Lingard's his games are running in behind and creating space. And there is no space for him, which is why it's not his fault. He just hasn't got the talent to unlock defences like this, which is why we want to see Martial, because Lingard has been in some really good spaces out on the left, isolating their right back, and he hasn't got the talent or the technique to run at them and beat the man, which is why we need Martial. I think Mkhitaryan's been a little bit quiet in that aspect. He's not running at players so much, but it's just the nature of this game, which is why I know the comment said it doesn't, but that's why I think the game suits Mata, because it's not about pace, it's about having a tactical mind and being able to unlock the defence. And one thing I will say, actually, because we praise Carrick so much because of what he does for United, but I do think he's been kind of poor in this game because he needs to move the ball from left to right a lot quicker, and he's dawdling on the ball a bit too much for me. And I think that would be the one message Mourinho would be giving them players at half time, is to move the ball quicker, because we're not, their defence should be absolutely knackered from this, but they're not going to be, because we're moving it from left to right a bit too slow. Speed that up, they will get tired and chances will come.
Yeah, I agree. I think patience, we were saying about it in the first half, patience, keep the ball, tire them out, use Rashford and Martial if you need to in the second half, because West Ham should get tired. The bad thing is I think we look tired. Chris Tayup says that Carrick's been the best player on the pitch, which is quite contradictory to what Ross has just said, but that's what fan opinion's all about. That's the great thing about the United stand. I like the fact about what I'm going to say. I sort of alluded to it before, is that people always say you pick on Fellaini, you pick on Darmian, you pick on Lingard. I'm going to say that I think Ander Herrera has been atrocious, especially the last 10 minutes before half time. I saw him getting knocked off the ball 3 times, 2 or 3 bad passes. It doesn't matter who you are. United stand won't hide, and a lot of you won't hide. Just because you like a player doesn't mean you have to. They will have a bad game in the season. They might have 3 or 4. So I'm going to say Ander Herrera needs to book his ideas up. A couple of others do, but I do think that Darmian and Lingard were the standout players that, for maybe not just bad performances, but tactically I would get them off because they don't suit this sort of game. But we do need to move the ball a little bit quicker. I think we've let West Ham off too easy. But I'm still confident we can win the game, Ross.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I didn't think about the Herrera thing, and you're absolutely bang on. He has been slightly poor, but he's played so much football over the past month, and he is our 90-minute man like Pogba. I just don't think he's got the physical stature to actually take that on like Pogba. So we might be seeing a bit of fatigue with Herrera, which is understandable, which is why I think this is going to be a big test for Mourinho, because the cards are in his hands. He just has to play the right cards, and I don't know what ones they are, to be honest. I've got a few ideas, but I don't know if it'll work. And this would be a big test for Mourinho, because he needs to unlock this West Ham defence. He's got a great bench, and he's got to rally them players and send the team out there to win. And I'll be very interested.
I don't know whether it's true, but a few people have mentioned it in the live comments, and I've actually had a message about it as well, that Fellaini's coming on. So, you know what? If it is true, I'm not actually going to go mad about it, because I did say in the first half that if it was 0-0 with 10-15 minutes to go, I probably wouldn't argue putting Fellaini on if we're going to play Fellaini where we did against Borough, which is as basically
Can't believe that's coming out of your mouth.
10.
I can't
No,
believe you're saying that.
10, but if he's coming on
Oh,
if he's coming on at half time, we're clearly not going to play him as a number 10. I think we're going to play him instead of Herrera in that midfield position, and that is a problem. And also, Fellaini coming on when you want to keep 11 players on the pitch isn't a good idea either. But this is what I was talking about as well. People were like, is Fellaini going to be sold in January? Well, there are offers for Fellaini there, definitely in Italy. There's a couple of teams from England, but he's not going anywhere because Mourinho wants to keep him. So I don't know whether that's true or not. I'd be very surprised if he's coming on at half time, but I wouldn't be opposed to throwing him on with 10-15 minutes to go if it's 0-0 and we're just going to bombard him like we did Borough. But I wouldn't be bringing him on now for Herrera or Pogba because he's not a midfielder and we've not been playing with a number 10, but maybe we're going to change it around. I think Mourinho, we were talking about it, Ross, with that Rashford sub, he might go and do something a little bit different because it's like, why are we playing a flat back four against a team that's not got any strikers?
Yeah, 100%. He needs to change it up tactically. I'm on the same boat with you. I wouldn't be opposed to see Fellaini come on, but he does need to play in the right positions. And the perfect position for Fellaini is to play right up on the shoulder with Ibrahimovic because it takes all of that weight off Ibrahimovic to win every ball in the air, and it just gives the defence something else to think about. Would I make the sub? Probably not, but I don't want to I'm not going to blindly back Mourinho like some do. But in this case, with this game, I think, do you know what? Mourinho might have a tactical plan, and if he wants to bring Fellaini on, I'm not going to back it, but I'll be intrigued to see how it works, and it could be a Mourinho masterclass, or it could. It's one of them. It could massively backfire. But do you know what? I kind of praise Mourinho for making that. I hope it's not a sub where he's just doing it to prove United fans wrong. I hope he's doing it because he actually feels that he's the key for it, and it's. He's not going to make the substitutions that sort of we all want to see. He's going to do the ones that he feels are going to win the game, and if it does happen, I hope that Fellaini scores. We all do because we want to win this game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know whether... No. Somebody said it's for Carrick, which I think is just winding people up. I don't think it would be for Carrick, but we'll certainly see. I mean, I'm not... if people are tuning in expecting me to go off on one just because Fellaini comes on, I probably wouldn't be happy with it at half-time, to be honest, but we might get to that point where... I've always said, I don't think Fellaini's a Manchester United player by any means, but if you're going to use him for what he is, actually against Borough, we used him for one of the first times I've ever seen as a number 10, which is what he used to play for Everton. Hit him 30, 40 yards into the box, and that's where his threat is. He's just not a midfielder, and that would be a problem. But Mourinho sat on the bench just before Ross goes. I just want to see, because I'd like to get his thoughts on it if it has happened. I'm not sure that it actually has. West Ham are coming out. United are already out. I can't actually see. Mata's on. Mata's coming on, which is, I think, he's in tune with the United Stand and the United Stand viewers again, because we did say Mata. Be interested to see who it's for. I would hope it's Darmian or Lingard, but they're not flashing up who it's for yet. Lingard off, Mata on is what we think. So what would you think about that, Ross, just quickly?
It's the perfect substitution for me, to be honest. Mata won't run in behind, but we're not going to get chances for that. And I think Mata's, he's got a good eye for a pass and a very key pass as well. And let's not forget, Mata always makes a difference in these games. He might even play poorly, but he always makes a difference. He either scores or assists. So I'm absolutely thrilled to see Mata.
It's not for Lingard, actually. It's for Darmian, which I think actually is even better. I think it's a tactically...
Even better, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, Ross is on Twitter at has a90. Thanks for tuning in, Ross.
Cheers, Mark.
Speak to you soon.
Let's hope for a win.
Let's hope for a win. Cheers, pal.
Cheers.
Well, I'm very happy with that substitution. I think tactically it is exactly the right substitution for us to make. And it's one that, many of us had spoken about in the first half. So it's nice when we're right, isn't it? It's nice when the manager, I'm sure he's not copying what we're saying, but it's nice that we watch a game and the manager does exactly what we would have done. So that's not always been the case for the last 3 years, but Darmian for Mata is the right substitution. Lingard, maybe, but we still would have had that problem of having a left back on when we don't need a left back. It's an attacking substitution. Darmian for Mata, I'm just tweeting it out as well. Darmian for Mata. We don't need a defensive left back against 10 men. And plus, he was on a yellow card as well, which is something we'd spoken about half time. He's on a yellow card. He is quite clumsy, Darmian. He's always picked up yellow cards. You remove that risk of, Mike Dean giving it. In fact, we actually, if you follow us on Twitter at United Stand MUFC, we called it in the first half. Don't need Darmian on against 10 men. Get Mata on to unlock the defence. So, that could be a very good prediction, and I hope it's right, because we need to get the 3 points today. I think it would be absolutely fantastic if we did. Right, Valencia's got it on the edge of the box. I don't know what sort of cross that is, but that's a typical Valencia sort of cross. Mata, there's a chance to shoot, and Lingard shoots over the box, which hopefully he'll be coming off soon as well. Gottsberg Stolvet says, I'm a Spurs fan and wondered what you think about Wednesday. I'll be honest, if Liverpool had won today, they would have been 3 points behind Chelsea. Under no circumstances do I want Liverpool winning the league, so I'd want Chelsea to win, and then obviously we'd be closer to Spurs in whatever position they're in. I'm not saying we can win the league, and I think a lot of it depends on what we get today, really. I don't think we can win the league, but you know what? A point wouldn't be a bad result for us. I don't want Spurs to win, so... Oh God, Zlatan nearly got through to a one-on-one then. But no, I think a Chelsea win or a draw would be beneficial, really. I just don't want Liverpool anywhere near the title, or Arsenal. So, if Chelsea wrap the title up, I don't think we can win the title this year. I just think with the Europa League and that would be very, very difficult. I think we'd be very happy with the amount of points we've dropped this season to get top 4. And to do that, we need some of them teams above us to start dropping points. And Spurs have pulled off 2 results over Christmas, both away games, Southampton and Watford, where I thought they would have, dropped points against at least one of those. But this is working better for United now with Mata there. It's an extra attacker. It really starts to pin West Ham in, because it's not just about physical. It's a poor cross by Lingard again. Samir thinks we'll win 2-0. I don't think Lingard will survive much longer. I think he's been very disappointing, and when he gets an opportunity to put a cross in like that and puts it out for a goal kick, it's not good enough. In fact, they've just shown Marcus Rashford, which I would do. But yeah, what we started to do with Mata, we've got rid of that waste of time Darmian at left back. Not just Darmian how he plays, but a defensive left back. You don't need it against 10 men. You can use Rojo, Jones and Valencia quite effectively. We are sort of like playing with a back 3. And we start to pin in. Well, Michael Carrick's sort of gone as a centre back alongside Jones, and coming out of the back like a sweeper, which is very, very intelligent from Mourinho. I think it's a fantastic substitution. But what we'll start to do is not only hopefully tire them physically, we'll just tire them mentally as well, because they are tired. There's going to be another yellow card here for West Ham, surely. I think Mike Dean's very reluctant to book anybody here, but the referee makes a mistake. It's Mkhitaryan, and I think that's a yellow card every day of the week. I don't understand why it's not a yellow card. Oh my God, it's nearly bloody 2-footed as well. That actually is a red card, and he ignores it. Unbelievable. Typically missing. Well, you know what? I did sort of feel sorry for West Ham because their player got sent off, maybe unjustly, but maybe Mike Dean's seen it at half time, because that one on Mkhitaryan, right in front of him, is off the ground and it stood showing, and he doesn't even get a yellow card. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Lingard has to come off, says Donny Pollitt. I'm sure he will do in about 10 minutes time, because we're 50 minutes in. Mudder 83 says that was way more red card than the tackle in the first. It was. Coyote won the ball, says Portuguese Police. Portuguese Police, you obviously don't understand the rules of the game. Doesn't matter whether you win the ball. If you're off the ground and your studs are showing, it doesn't matter whether you win the ball, mate. The 2 Rojo tackles are a case in point there. He should have been red carded for both. It doesn't matter if you win the ball. It's I could win the tackle and elbow somebody in the face. It's not about whether you win the ball. It's about how you do it. So that would have been a red card, but we've already had a red card in this game, so we can't moan about it. West Ham with 9 would still be a hard game for United, says Yassine. I can't disagree with that. West Ham have got a free kick here, actually, in a decent position. Gungshi, it should have been a yellow at the very least. Yes, I agree. Mark, do you think United can get into the top 4, says Alex O'Brien. They've got to win this game. If you can't win against 10 men, then you can't get into the top 4. And I think questions would be asked because we weren't fantastic against Borough. We came from one, it was not a smash and grab, but it was 2 goals late on. We've had a lot of time in this game to get ahead, and some reason it's just not quite happening for us. It's not been a vintage performance, but I always will keep saying 2 games in 48 hours, it's very difficult to get that. And West Ham nearly scored from a free kick there. It's Antonio who gets up and he heads it wide, and judging by the look on his face as we watch it back again, wasn't clear cut, but he feels he should have done a little bit better than he did. He was up. Adrian Smith says that Mike Dean is trying to even up the decision. Well, he's just evened it up there. I think he should have sent him off. Steve says, Mark, you're deluded if you think we can achieve anything playing like this. Sceptical, we will get ridiculed if we don't win this game as well, so we don't want that. We've had enough of that this season, dropping points when we should have won them. We don't want to start doing it again in 2017 when we've built up so much confidence from some really good results recently. Ricky Clarkson says he would have preferred Darmian to stay on and Lingard to go off. Pogba's just gone for a Paul Scholes sort of pass out to Valencia, which is about 40 yards. It's good. Valencia's just running out of ideas a little bit, really. Got to step forward there, Carrick. Step into the space. Making it very easy for them at the moment. There's a nice overlap from Rojo, who has got a good cross on him sometimes. It goes over Mata. I think Mata should have done better there. Valencia into Zlatan. He'll try and get a cross in. Not a very good one. It's all a bit dinky. But Zlatan should... no. West Ham have got it. And they clear it long. Rojo wins it. It's all a bit scrappy. Rashford and Martial need to come on, says Arita Deb. I'll tell you what, though. I wouldn't go totally with that, because I do think that there's a place for Fellaini in the last 10 minutes if it carries on like this. We're going to have to go long ball at some point, and I've seen it. I'm not a Fellaini fan. I don't think he should be at Manchester. Seem to have messed up the audio. You might not be able to hear me. Hopefully you can. Let me know if you can still hear me, because I've definitely done something wrong. Yeah, we're back now. Don't worry. I'd knocked my computer. Everything should be fine. Yeah, you were lagging because I waxed the computer. It's my fault. So everything should be working fine now. Looks like Rashford's coming on as well, which is great. 11 minutes in then, and Rashford is the key here. Pegged back at left back. Rooney's injured. Mata playing too deep, says Clark Kent. We've still got 35 minutes of this half to go. Let's not forget that. United always seem to struggle against 10 men, but Zlatan is onside there, but he hasn't got the pace. We will see Rashford at some point. He is warming up, and that's exactly... Start stretching him a little bit, definitely is the way to go. They are playing a high line, and it's Zlatan hasn't got the pace. Free kick for West Ham. It's the trouble is, the more it gets closer towards the end, the better it will get for them. Have I missed Lingard going off yet? I don't think so. I hope not. Please, I want to see him going off, by the way. Bring on Van Hal. Mark, where's your earphone? It's in my ear. And Rashford can't cross. Rashford on for Lingard. Looks like it's going to happen. It has happened because Rashford's already on. I missed that when I wasn't looking, which is great. Mata into Rashford. It just makes us more dynamic, doesn't it? Lingard is off. I'd missed that when I stepped out. How on earth Zlatan's still on the pitch, says Jesus. Well, you know what? Zlatan might pop up with that goal like he did against Crystal Palace. I've got a bet that he'll score at any time. So, I mean, I wouldn't be over the moon if he went off because I think he can get us a goal. But I think we're trying to do things that we don't need to do in this game at the moment. The passing's not been fantastic. I mean, let's be honest. We've had a lot of the ball and we seem to play in little flicks and stuff. I mean, like Michael Carrick there, passes it to Herrera when we're trying to build an attack, and then we're letting West Ham back in on the break. They should have scored. West Ham should have scored again, 1-on-1, and De Gea makes a save. It's unbelievable. 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 Well, De Gea is the man of the match. Shocking that we're playing 10 men and our keeper's been the man of the match. Oh, we got a problem with the audio then. A few people seem to be moaning about the audio, but I don't know, maybe when I knocked it something's gone wrong, but I can't see what it is. And I'm loath to start messing around a bit in the middle of a stream. Let me know though, what's gone wrong. It was awful defending Sam the Man, I totally agree with you. They should have scored 1-on-1. What a chance for them. What a chance. Steve Anton says it's a joke. De Gea man of the match. Where is Luke Shaw? VWQ is subscribed to the channel. Thanks very much for that. In fact, we are only 100 off 61,000. So if you are new to the United Stand, drop us a subscribe. Get involved. Don't just watch watch-alongs on match day. We're live at 8:30 every evening, starting from tomorrow. Obviously won't be tonight because of the match, but yeah, live with the transfer show at 8:30 tomorrow night. We've got a Skype Goldbridge on Wednesday night, I think, where you can Skype in and have your say. Sunday night live. Live preview on a Friday night at 8:30. We'll be live on Saturday, an hour before kick-off with the team news, and right through till full-time for the Reading game in the FA Cup. But now, all that matters is that Manchester United somehow win this. Steve says we've been a shambles. Jeezwee says United have been outplayed. Martial in for Ander says sceptical. We've only got one sub left. Rashford into the box. Pull back. Mata. 1-0. Boom. That's all we wanted. That is all we wanted in this game. Get the ball in the back of the net. You're not moaning anymore. We said we'd get there in the end. Mata is the difference, and I'm glad it's him. I'm so glad it's him because we needed the goal. It's Rashford who causes the problems as well, down the left-hand side. And yes, lovely stuff. Still wouldn't count West Ham now because they've had some cracking chances in this game. But it's Rashford down the left, exposing their right back who's tired. Cuts back. It's a good goal. There's no little deflections or anything like that. He drags it back for Mata, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. Very happy, and Liverpool will be gutted. Not that we should judge our season on them, but they ain't going to be very happy. Here we go. Just updating the score for you. 1-0 Manchester United, and we need a goal scorer on there as well. It's not Zlatan, it's going to be Mata. And it's the perfect time to get the goal, really. We don't want to be going to the last 10 minutes trying to get it now, make West Ham have to come out a bit, maybe get the second goal in this half as well. Still 25 minutes left in it, but West Ham's tactics will have to change now, and we're set up the right way to try and get this second goal and kill the game. Brilliant. Genius substitution, says Kwame. Rashford made the play, says Rick H. You know what? One of my frustrations in the first half of the season has been Rashford not being used enough, or being used as a left-sided player when he's a forward. But what a turn by Pogba that is. Get a gif of that. Absolutely brilliant. Just killed 2 West Ham players and gets a free kick. But they'll probably show this back again. There'll be a GIF going around on Twitter for this, or a clip of it, because it is magical. I hope they show it again. Ow, keep making a mistake. It's bringing Chris Smalling on as our last substitution. I don't think that'll please people going defensive like that. He'd obviously gone attacking to win it, and then we're going defensive with 25 minutes to go. That disappoints me. That is disappointing. Don't know what people think about that, but I'm disappointed by that. We get 1-0 up and he goes defensive. Mkhitaryan. With 25 minutes to go. So at least we won't see Fellaini today. But I don't agree with that. Why are we going defensive with 25 minutes to go against 10 men? I mean, we should still be able to get the second goal, but I don't agree with that substitution at all. I don't know what you're thinking at home. He's just putting the back four back in play, says Izan. I suppose so, but we're still against 10 men. Go and get the second goal. Anything could happen, you know. What are we going to do? Invite pressure in the last 10 minutes again? We don't want to do that. We've only got a 1-goal cushion. And what are they going to do? Warm Andy Carroll up. We should have gone for the second goal there, because we can't invite pressure when they're going to bring Andy Carroll on. Get back in this game, get 2-0, and then that's it. You know, we're not going to see Anthony Martial now in this game either. No Martial on, says Hursty. Yeah. Why Smalling? I don't agree with that substitution. Ryan Garton not happy that Smalling's come on anyway. I suppose it gives us a little bit of hype, but I don't know why we're. I think Jose's a little bit like me though, isn't he? He'd take 1-0 now. We'd end the game, which I would. 3 points. 3 points. 3 points is what it's all about. I think we'd be within 5 points of Liverpool, so we've made 2 points on them if we win today. So that's a positive. Liverpool level with Spurs. We've got Chelsea on Wednesday. I've got a funny feeling Spurs might win that though, because they are banging form, and Chelsea have obviously been winning games, for a long time. You just feel that maybe that's going to go Spurs' way, which would be typical because Chelsea are so far ahead of us that them dropping points really doesn't help us. We need Spurs to drop points on Wednesday, but we've got to win this game first. And we're sort of falling back into that trap again of just keeping hold of the ball. Although, if Valencia can play the cross right here, which he didn't, Zlatan was there. Good interception by Herrera to Pogba. He shoots. Oh, just wide. We could have done with that Nestle in the bottom corner. He's on the edge of the box. He sort of does a body turn, shoots, goes for the bottom corner, and we'll see how close it was from here. It's out of his left foot. It's coming back. He's only about half a metre wide. It was coming back on the curl, but not quite enough. Die Hard Gaming saying kill the game, which is exactly what we need to do. Who do we have next, says the side boys. We've got Liverpool in the league next, but that's 2 weeks. What day is it today? So 2 weeks yesterday. It's on a Sunday, but we have got 2 games before that in the Cup. We've got Reading on Saturday, lunchtime, and then we've got Hull midweek after that. So, yeah, Christmas is over, New Year's done, but so much football to get involved with. That's got to be your vice for the next few weeks. So much football to get on with. And it's all the more enjoyable if United are picking up the points and doing well. So we need to get this win done today because we're very disappointed to take anything other than a win. Subscribe to the United Stand, get involved, and keep watching all our videos and be part of it because I think it's going to be a great 2017 and we want you here with us. You're a massive part of it. Andy Carroll coming on. This makes them a threat, but we need to get the second goal. I don't think 1-0. I'll take 1-0 now, but 1-0 against 10 men is pretty poor. Anthony Evelyn's a bit annoyed about people typing in false scores. I'm sure Marcus will start putting him into timeouts, but at the end of the day, just ignore false scores. I'll give you the score. It's 1-0. As long as just keep an eye on the screen here. It's 1-0. It's not 1-1 Payet at all, Squittle. And you're going to a timeout for that because you've done it afterwards. In fact, you've been deleted anyway. Payet has come off, which is quite an interesting thing because he's their best set piece taker. But the long throw-in start for West Ham, and it's a bad one. But, we've got the extra man. Let's not start sitting back and allowing them to hit 40-yard passes. Of course, it means Zlatan's going to stay on for the whole 90 minutes again. For 2 games in a row. I know he's 35, but his fitness levels must be absolutely ridiculous because to play 2 games in 48 hours as the lone striker is unbelievable. Good little foot in there by Pogba. And Rashford's pace is causing them trouble. I thought he'd under it that pass to Randolph then. He hasn't. And Pogba's been sold a pass there. And De Gea comes running out. Mark, are you watching? Yep, I am, Mademoiselle. 13 meta 1. You're gone. Long balls from the Hammers now, says Peter Doyle. Payet to Man United, says Ryan Lowe. I don't think so. Not for the money they'd want. Robert Taylor's getting worried. We're parking the bus, not good, says the Law of Attraction. Well, I did say that 5-10 minutes ago when we took Mkhitaryan off for Smalling. I didn't agree with that substitution. We're not playing. We've not gone 1-0 up against 11 men. We've gone 1-0 up against 10 men. We've had all the play, and now we're letting West Ham have all the ball. It's a bloody joke, to be honest. Get hold of the ball and win this game. And look, Carroll's just diving from 30 yards out because he knows Phil Jones, like an absolute schoolboy, coming in behind him, giving him a free kick. Schoolboy defending by Phil Jones, that is, on Andy Carroll. Don't get close to him. You haven't got to win a bloody fight. Don't get close to him. Use the extra man. I mean, we're all professional footballers on that pitch. Use the extra man. Ross has just messaged me saying, didn't we all say that Mata would be the difference? We did. Not just me and Ross, all you lot as well. I think that substitution was brilliant, and Mata scored the goal as well. Mata made the goal for Pogba on, against Borough. So, Mata, I don't think Mata gets the appreciation he deserves. I think this season he's been fantastic. I know he hasn't started every game, and he probably won't start every game. But when he he gets it, and when he comes on, he normally makes a contribution. Carrick ball watching there. I just don't know what's gone wrong with our mentality. We've got 1-0 up, and we're just letting them back into this game. Abdullah says, Mark, you're a liar. If you don't tell me what I'm lying about, I can't say anything more than that. De Gea is better than Neuer. De Gea's been the man of the match in this game for me. I don't know what anybody else thinks. It's ridiculous to say that, but Tricked Football says Mata has to be the number 10. You can't always play a number 10, especially away from home. I understand that. It's not 1-1 William Gallagher at all. It's 1-0 to Manchester United. Why are we parking the bus, says Azark? I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't, certainly wouldn't have seen Sir Alex doing it. I know Mourinho does do it sometimes, but I wouldn't say we're parking the bus. I think he's just put his back four together, maybe, like somebody else was saying. But the team attitude is sort of parked the bus now. We've got one player more than them. Let's keep hold of the ball. Keep hold of the ball. Make them even more tired. They're going to have to come out a little bit more and get the second goal. Giving away too many fouls, says Mark Ramnath. All they need, if this was like 92 minutes, West Ham would be laughing all the way to the bank. So all they've got to do is put a decent ball into the box and Andy Carroll will score. We definitely need the second goal in this game. Giving it to Marcus Rashford's not a bad move. Zlatan's been wasteful today. In fact, the sort of performance you'd expect from somebody who's played 2 games in 48 hours. It's tired. He's trying to do little flicks, little passes. None of them are really coming off. I think Pogba's played well. I mean, saying all this, there's still 20 minutes left of this game, at least a quarter of it left. Here's Rashford running into the box on the left-hand side. Lays it back. Oh, Pogba. I thought he was laying it off for Mata, and Pogba came into the screen on the edge of the box, and he should score it. It's not a tap-in by any means, but keeper's rooted to the spot. Yeah, he should score that. Pogba's got to score there. Pogba has to score there. But great play from Rashford down the left again. Well, they like putting us through the ringer. I mean, United always did used to like put us through the ringer with Sir Alex, but not in this way. Not when you're playing against 10 men and you're sort of allowing a team back into it. We've just not been clinical enough. 2-0 and this game's over. 1-0 and West Ham will feel it. And Peter Doyle makes a good point. The team's tired and they know a win gets us 1 point out of top 4. It's stick or twist, and they don't want to do that. There's a yellow card here for Valencia, who just jumps. It's not a yellow card in a million years. Yellow card for jumping these days. God, he's a tosh referee, isn't he? I don't know whether we've got any West Ham fans watching. Your man should not have been sent off in the first half. He should have been sent off for the foul on Mkhitaryan in the second half, and that yellow card there was absolutely laughable. But Mike Dean's a crap referee. He's a Spurs fan as well, so tackle by Carrick. But we're camped on our own box here, allowing crosses to come in. It's laughable what we're doing with 10 men. Right, he's got it. Rashford's going to go here. Play the pass. Bloody Zlatan. What is he doing? Play the pass. Finally. Rashford shoots. And he needed to play that pass. So, Rashford's against the last man, and he bloody holds the ball up. He nearly scored though then. Bloody hell. Rashford's shot nearly went in then. We need to do that, a little bit more of that in this last few minutes. We're 13 short of 1,000 likes. So if you've not liked the video yet, please do drop a like on it. You've all been fantastic as per usual on the watch along with your comments. And if you haven't subscribed, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, we're only 54 off 61,000. It's Valencia into the box. What's he doing? He just doesn't know when to cross, does he? Gives it to Mata. Herrera. Not his best game. Shoot Rojo to Rashford now on the left, which is where our goal came from. Pogba on the right, he'll shoot. Right? Pogba, you've got to shoot. Oh, poor. I think Herrera's not had his best game today, but Zlatan. Yes, it is a goal. I thought he was offside. It's changed. The score's changed. Herrera was going to shoot. He sort of played it through to Zlatan. And Zlatan, yet again, anytime Zlatan goal, well, that's the point, isn't it? We're not fussed about who, where, why, or what. Zlatan, 2-0. Game over. Game over. It's a lovely finish by him as well. Keeper rooted to his spot. So yeah, Herrera's got it. He does shoot. It comes off a West Ham defender, but then he wins it back, Herrera, really well. Pogba gets out of the way and Zlatan finishes it in the bottom corner. And for all those people who were sort of saying, you know, what's Zlatan doing on the pitch? We did say it, you know, maybe everybody else would have scored it, whatever, but it's probably slightly offside as well. Who cares? We've had a bit of a rub of the green in this game, but we haven't been having a good run of the green for most of the season, have we? So it was offside, I think, but who gives a shit? You know, who gives a damn? We've got the points. That's what he's off. That's all that matters. So let's change the score. And if you've been going along with our bets this season, I know we got up to 50 quid. Zlatan's in the box again here. I'm trying to update the score, but might get another one. Keeper saved it. We did Zlatan to score at any time at 1.7, so we've got it. With a tenner, we're up to 17 quid, which is a nice start. So, you know, I know a lot of people didn't do the last one, but hopefully you did do this one. Zlatan to score at any time. We did that from an hour before the game at 1.7. The money's in the bank again, thanks to Zlatan. Nice one. And we can rest easy because, unless West Ham are going to score, which I don't think they will do now, that cushion goal is there. And the score is updated. And, well, West Ham are on the attack at the moment. We don't want to allow them in to get a goal. They're trying to just work crosses in for Andy Carroll because that's obviously their threat. But Hasnif, oh dear. The long ball cross coming. I mean, this is why it would have been so dangerous at 1-0 because they've just chucked a ball in there and it's De Gea comes for it. But he's such a threat, Andy Carroll. You know, he might be the biggest donkey in the world, but balls into the box like that, he's a threat. Oh God, West Ham are probably going to score it. No, good tackle by Phil Jones. You can't quite get it away. I mean, there's still 10 minutes to go. West Ham get a goal and it's a different story. But we're hanging on. Let's go for 3. Ross went for 3-0. We might catch them on the break. I think that's what we're trying to do with Rashford and Zlatan a bit. But we've got to work a little bit harder because they're going to try and work opportunities to put the ball into the box to Andy Carroll. West Ham trying to get a free kick there from Coyote, but it was never a free kick. So we've got 10 minutes to go. Clark Kent, West Ham diving for free kicks. Yeah. Oldest tricks in the book, but I don't follow West Ham obviously, but I know they lost to Leicester at the weekend and I know they were quite low down in the league anyway, so hopefully they've got some of the teams above us to play this season because they haven't been that bad today and they need to start picking up points. Great game today for Phil Jones, says MZW5057. I sort of disagree. He's made a couple of mistakes today, Phil Jones. One of them in the first half when he let that player get the shot out and De Gea made that save. I think Rojo's been better than Jones, to be honest, in this game. But it's not been a bad performance by Phil Jones. Just, you know, I think better teams will cause us problems, but I don't for 1 minute think Jones and Rojo are going to be I think Herrera's, again, another pass. I've seen that twice in the second half as well from Herrera. He's had passes played to him and he's just not getting his body in the right position. I don't know, probably, let's be fair to Herrera. He's one of my favourite players and maybe he's just a little bit tired today. Vikramjit says we'll make it to the top 4. Well, I have said that. Been saying that for a number of weeks now. We will finish above Liverpool. We've made up another 2 points on them today, so we'll be 5 points behind them. They're still showing the goal. And Zlatan is offside, but he's unsighted because of Mata, really. You can't really blame the referee for that. He's unsighted because Mata's in the way. And I'm sure because it's Manchester United, everybody will be making a big deal out of it. But, how many penalties should we have had this season? How many bad decisions have we had this season? We get a couple go our way in a game and suddenly we're like, everyone's corrupt towards us, which is laughable. Let them crack on. But still got 8 minutes to go. Swings and roundabouts says live wire red B, which I agree with. Still too long to go to really start saying who your man of the match is, but my man of the match so far is either Pogba or De Gea. I think Pogba's been brilliant, and I think De Gea has made 2 classic, absolute world-class saves. It's funny as well, if you watch the watch-alongs, there's a few things we said in the first half that have rang true. One, that maybe today is the sort of game where, we've been saying it for a long time, that De Gea won't be our man of the player of the season this year because, we're not such a defensive side. But there will be games throughout the season where he is our man of the match and he keeps us in it. And surprisingly, despite the fact we've been playing against 10 men, I think De Gea did keep us in this game with 2 fantastic saves. He's been superb today. I think Pogba's been very good as well. Lee Palmer, our luck is starting to change. Always said that when we, the players were saying we were unlucky against Burnley and we were unlucky against Stoke. We weren't unlucky. We just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And normally it will be spread out over a season. Here's Rashford into the box. He's going to have to cut back because he's all right foot. Little dink, volley. Oh, that would have been a lovely goal. But it sort of caps off Herrera's game, really. He's just last bit of his game's been a bit lacking today. It's a lovely little dink by Rashford. It's on the volley for Herrera. He hits it well. Keeper's down low. He doesn't connect with it as well as he would want to. Well, it's not a bad connection. Keeper uses his feet. Rashford is mint, says Ishmael. He has been very good, Rashford has actually. Ricky Clarkson, the only Premier League trophy Liverpool will lift will be a cardboard one. Oh, this is a fantastic win for us today, though. We said, well, we didn't. What did we say just before Christmas? We had Spurs at home, Palace away, Borough at home, Sunderland at home, West Brom away. It wasn't in that order, and we said, can we win 5 in a row? Probably not. We've not really looked like doing it all season. This will be 6 in a row, 3 of which have been away: Palace, West Ham, and West Brom. Brilliant, absolutely superb. Liverpool next at home. What an opportunity that is. The great thing about United at the moment is it's like because we put ourselves in this last chance saloon in the Premier League because of dropping so many points at home. Every game we pretty much have to win now. But as a fan, watching the games as we do together, it makes every game so interesting. There are no boring games. Sunderland and Borough at home over Christmas. Traditionally, you'd like, oh yeah, we're going to win them games. We're already 5 points clear at the top. But this year, it's like, we've got to bloody win it. We've got to win it. And the next league game is Liverpool at home, which is a 6-pointer. We've got to win it. We get within 2 points of them if we win that. So if they win it, they go 8 points ahead of us again. So it's great. Absolutely every game means something at the moment. And it will do towards the end of the season as well, because we're going to have to keep winning in the league if we want to get up in the league. And obviously in cup competitions, you've got to win if you want to go through. So it's an exciting time to be a United fan, and the consistency is making our season even more exciting. But how funny is it that basically since the Europa League crap stopped, we've suddenly found consistency in the league because we've been on a level footing with everybody else and the amount of games we're having to play. It's been perfect, the perfect time. And I do get what people say that maybe this goal scorers in the top right hand corner, mate, under United where it says 2, it's Mata and Zlatan. maybe we could have had a title chase this year, but maybe City could. But we've dropped 10 points, haven't we? You add that 10 points on, we're only 3 points behind Chelsea. So yeah, we could have done, but we could have not won at Hull the third game in, apart from that brilliant bit of skill from Rooney and a finish by Rashford. There's lots of things, but we did drop a lot of points at home. But I'm more than happy with where we are now and the way we've turned it around with this 6 wins in a row in the league. It's been unbelievable and fantastic, and they deserve a lot of credit. And I like the fact that I don't like the fact that we've played 10 men and we allowed them to have the chances they did, but the saves by De Gea, superb, absolutely superb. We've surpassed the 1,000 likes, which is fantastic. Thanks to everybody. You've been brilliant on the watch along as per usual with your comments. R. Parky 07 says, Matt, please reply. I love you. My name's not Matt for a start, so you don't like me that much. And we are 23 subscribers off hitting 61,000. 22 now. If you look at the score in the bottom corner, Pogba's got it in the box, but he's right on the touchline, and he's won it back. He's still won it back. I think Pogba's been brilliant today as well. It'd be Pogba or De Gea for me, my man of the match. But West Ham know they're beat now. They're not they're just getting passed off the park. It's a hell of an effort from them to play as 10 men, to be honest. It's a handball opportunity. Pogba looks dead on his feet, but they'll get a few days off now. And Reading at home in the FA Cup, you never know with Jose, you never know, but I'd want to see him not playing his first 11 against Reading. Play Martial, he didn't play today. We've got a League Cup game as well. Let's use some of the squad. King Duago has subscribed and liked the video. We're 14 off at 61,000 now. Priya says, you never replied to me. I just did. Is it possible to win the title, says Arman. I don't know. I think we just got to keep winning, haven't we? I mean, it is still only January. There are 4 months left. There's a lot of points to play for. You've got to basically say we've got to beat Chelsea at home, so that would be 3 points, which would put us within 10 points of them. It can be done. It can be done, but I just think any talk of the league is just probably too far for us at the moment. But what we've got to do is what we're doing. Keep winning. Zlatan on free kicks again. He's awful. I don't know why Zlatan takes free kicks. Why does Zlatan take free kicks? It's the biggest question. I just don't understand it. The answer is we could win the league. Of course we can win the league, but I'm not going to say we're going to win the league because it's a massive, massive thing. And I wouldn't want Chelsea to start imploding until we're in second place, if that makes any sense, because I don't want Liverpool, Arsenal or City to win the league. I'd rather Chelsea win it. And I don't like Chelsea, but they're just the best out of those 4 options. Rashford's caught a kick there. Hopefully he's not going to be injured because it's a yellow card, so it must have been a nasty kick. Let's have a look at that back. We don't want him being injured. Yeah. I think he's alright. Pogba should take the free kicks, Mazhab. I totally agree with you. Art Sam saying that after Jose started to play Mkhitaryan, we became unstoppable. Let's not forget what I was talking about in the first half as well, though. We started this season playing Fellaini as our defensive midfielder. He didn't start playing Carrick until November. No Carrick, no Partey. I mean, that's one thing Mourinho did get wrong at the start, and it's great that he's sorted himself out in that sense and seen the light, because we weren't using Carrick either. You start using Carrick and the results change. We're massive Carrick fans on this channel, as I'm sure a lot of you are as well. Marcus Rashford's been given man of the match by the TV broadcaster I've been watching. not for me. I think Marcus Rashford's been superb, but De Gea made 2 world-class saves to keep us in this game at 0-0. So, I wouldn't have given it to Rashford. Rashford didn't set the second goal up either. He set the first one up. He's played really well. Marcus Rashford, Paul Pogba. The thinking man's man of the match is De Gea or Pogba. That's what I would say, or woman. Rashford's been very good. He's my favourite Manchester United player, as many people on the United stand know, because of what he is, who he stands for, what his potential is. But I wouldn't have given him man of the match. That's Gary Neville, isn't it? I'm surprised at Gary Neville for that. He should know a lot better. Being part of the defensive club, Gary, I thought you would have opted for somebody from that club. But, people see things differently. I think De Gea or Pogba. I think Pogba's the unsung hero of this performance. He has been brilliant. 2 games in 48 hours, running around with the ball, passing, absolutely everything in his performance. Really, really good. And that is an absolutely superb result for Manchester United. Absolutely superb. Again, 6 wins in a row. We've had the bonus of Liverpool dropping points, so we're going to beat them in a couple of weeks anyway. But if we do that now, we'll be within 2 points of Liverpool, who are apparently going to win the league. So really pleased with that. Hopefully Spurs won't get something against Chelsea on Wednesday as well. A fair result. The referee had his contribution to making it, but let's not forget De Gea made 2 world-class saves at 0-0. One in the first half, one in the second half. And I thought Pogba was brilliant as well. Tired performance, you can understand it. Second game in 48 hours. I thought Zlatan was tired at some point, but we've hit 61,000 subscribers as well. Absolutely superb. Really, really pleased with Manchester United today. Really, really pleased with that performance. I'm going to do my match reaction. I'll be about 5 minutes setting it up. But thanks everyone who's watched the watch along. I'm going to end it there. We'll set the match reaction up, the stream, and it'll be up in about 3 or 4 minutes for me to do that and give you my thoughts on the game. But what a result for Manchester United. And what another,